Yeah, people, check. Check. Hey, people, me a fall. I just a fix something. Yeah, man, I just a fix something, people. I fix something. Check. Alright. Check. But I hear me good, right? And I hear me good, right? Alright. Check, 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 check. Check, check, check. Check, 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 check. Check. Check, 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 check. Check, 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 check. All right, that's better, that's better, that's better. Check, check, check. All right, people. This thing I on for today they on all of the channel. When I finish broadcast, I'm gonna go over Twitch. But I'm already on the Twitch platform, I think. So I hope them can hear me over there. So hold on it. I'm at you. Hold on it. I'm at you. Hold on it. I'm at you. No. Check, check. So now you hear me over Twitch? Because when I finish now, I'm going to just done the Facebook and the YouTube where I can't really play music for, and then make a play music. So that's the plan. All right. So then okay, good. Chicken butt, me see you. All right. I always kind of been for you, know. All right, good. So then I hear me at Twitch and thing, and Facebook, when I hear me. Edda Beckford, Raymond Brown, Jenigan and thing, Healy, when I hear me now. I know if when I hear me, all right? So again, when I finish, I just cut off the Facebook, cut off the YouTube, and just continue with the Twitch and play the music. So Facebook, when I hear me? Let's say Facebook, I hear me now. So YouTube, I hear me? Proper? Just want to make sure. So Facebook say lock and seal. All right, people, the elephant in the room, let me tell you. Want to see my mouth twist? Want to see my mouth twist? Want to see my mouth twist, now? All right, y'all were, well, most of you, 98% of you were on point. I have this thing called Bell's palsy. Let me tell you though, well, you know, as you grow, you learn and all these things, because I had no idea what it was. And so many of you were just on point with it. You're like, some of you thought it was stroke. I thought it could have been a mild stroke. But most of you were on point with this thing, and you were like Bell's palsy. And again, I had no idea what it was and thing. And when I saw so many of you posting it, I did went and check it out. And I did notice that the symptoms they were spot on in terms of what I was experiencing. But, of course, I went to the doctor this morning just to confirm and to know what is going on definitively. And the doctor confirmed more sound already know. Bell's palsy. It's a weird name, isn't it? Bell's palsy. Okay, first of all, let me tell you what it is and what it is not. It is not stroke. Like the doctor said, a lot of people call it mini stroke or small stroke or little stroke. And the doctor said it's not stroke. Okay, so just so you know, out of the weeds with that part is I did not experience a stroke. The doctor says not stroke. They did all these tests and thing and whatever, and you know what, them explain them technical something. But when I think when him say stroke affect one side of the body, like if it was really like, because this thing I want to have it up on a side there. Mostly. It up on a side there mostly. And him say, no, stroke affect the whole body. And him say the main thing with stroke, him says that him says it's almost a guarantee that the side weight dip on one of your hand I go weaker. And him, them do them doctor thing and whatever. And him say this is not stroke. The other thing where him says is that this is it's localized exactly where Bell's palsy happened. He's the expert. I don't know these things. So him say Bell's palsy. And here's a part. Here's something else where we confuse some of the people. It's a virus, but it's not infectious. So there's somewhere you can catch from somebody. He explained. But it's a virus. And I think most people think that all viruses are infectious. A lot of people think that, Because I'm used to flu and them something there and whatever. So it is like flu. But in time say it can be any reason make it, it can be a whole heap of reason make you catch it. I'm saying it can be a whole heap of reason for you to get it. In my case, stress and tired and not sleep, And I've been having problems sleeping for a while now. I don't know. I wake up like 3 o'clock every morning, 3:30, and then I can't fall back to sleep. And I have some reason why. I think I know why with some things, and I'm just going to have to make some changes there. One thing I can tell the people, if you find that you wake up and you can't go back to sleep, but one of the things you do when you wake up is you start looking at your phone right away. Don't do it. Don't do it. Leave the phone. If you have a wake up, go pee, if you wake up for whatever reason, do not take up that phone. Because if you're like me, you take out the phone and you start look on it, you read this, you look on that, you're different IG. Me, I'm over the Daily Beast. It's an online magazine. Well, not just online. I'm over Politico. I'm over MSNBC. I'm over CNN. I am over Al Jazeera English. I'm over the BBC. I'm over the Guardian. And, I'm just this information junkie. That's not a good thing. It's not a good thing. It's not a good thing. People, in fact, wherever, the other bad habit I have, when I lay down with my phone. Like I go bed, I lay down on the phone and I read and I think, it's not good. Don't do it. I'm going to have to try and break myself out of it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Because when you do that, you're not resting, You think you're resting, because you lay down and you think you're rest, but you're not rest. Your brain is processing all this information from the phone and you're awake. So if you get up, go pee, or you get up for whatever, and then the first thing you do, a draw for your phone, you are stimulating your brain, you're stimulating your brain to say, oh, it's work time or it's information processing time or whatever. And that, your brain control your whole body. I don't need to tell you that. And I always do that. I'm so guilty of that. It's really bad. And then many of us, we say, boy, the phone, but the phone now do nothing to it. The phone now do nothing to it. Right? The phone is just an object. It's a tool. It's like you have to have that discipline and that control over that tool, so that you understand what's going on with your body and them thing then. So Bell's palsy now, I'm going to show you what it does. Bell's palsy. Yeah. Okay. Can I bring this up for you? Okay. Quick Google thing here. Bell's palsy is a disorder of the nerve that controls movement of the muscles in the face. You see, specifically, say face. That is one way for you to know, well, according to the doctor, that is one way for you to know if it is not stroke. Stroke does affect the face, but stroke affect whichever side of the face stroke affect, it affect the side of the body there too, right? Bell's palsy is just about the face. Him did actually tell me the name of the muscle where this nerve is called the facial or severed cranial nerve. Damage to this nerve causes weakness or paralysis of these muscles. Paralysis means that you cannot use the muscle at all. That is, okay, here we go. I'm done here. Mini stroke. You see this question right here? Is Bell's palsy a mini stroke? Bell's palsy is a temporary paralysis of the facial muscles, causing drooping and weakness on one side of the face, and is sometimes mistaken for a stroke. Mistaken for a stroke. While alarming, Bell's palsy is usually not permanent and resolves itself in 2 weeks to 6 months, depending on the severity. 2 weeks to 6 months. Let us look at some of the images now, and then, okay, there you go. You see how the people them face lean, and so on a really lean, is the one side just is deadened, that nerve thing there. Oh, apparently Angela Jolie had it too. Okay. Right. So you say these people and their degrees of some severity. Some people have it real, but thankfully mine is not as terrible. Yeah. Hey, some people have it and them look like them are rinse up them face. No. Look at me, some man that's right, yeah, some people have it like them are rinse up them face and all these things and whatever, and some people have it really bad and think you have some little minor swellings that come with it too, and sitting, right? So we all know about stroke. Many of us, well, let me be careful because no one did just automatically know what. So let me not say, oh, many would never know because, well, no one did know. Uno tell me. And the doctor confirmed it, okay? So, how me come forget it? So, like the flu, it can be all kinds of reasons that predispose you to get it. One of the things that predisposed me to get it is I just crossed the threshold of the diabetic threshold. So, that's a part of the equation, according to the doctor. Like the diabetes, something, I don't know, him know him, I said. But what primarily caused it for me is stress in relation to, I was always right at the borderline in terms of diabetes, And apparently, I'm going to write some in a high, whatever. So, yeah, I need to cut down on starch because it turns into sugar. And I need to cut down on sugar, right? But remember, starch turn into sugar too, all right? Me, I don't sleep. I have problems sleeping. I have to figure that out. I don't know what's going on there. And a lot of us equate stress with worry. And we think that stress is only about worry. And, stress is more than just worrying, If you're thinking a lot, once your body is doing something, depending on how long you're doing it or the intensity which you're doing it, you are giving your body stress. In that sense, you have normal stress. You have good stress. You actually have good stress and normal stress, but it is still stress. But as with everything, if it just goes in excess, then there is something that I that I just saw in the chat and it threw me off, and I'm going to deal with that after. As with anything, there's something I seen in the chat and it just threw me off, and I saw it before. I was supposed to say something about it, but I never. But I can't deal with this after. Yeah. Yeah, so based on my conversation with the doctor, I am presently involved in a process where I'm doing a lot of thinking and a lot of work, like brain work. And it's a lot, coupled with all my other obligations and responsibilities and things like that. So that is stressful. That is stressful. And the work is pretty, well, the work is not hard for me. I'm fairly used to it. But in terms of time, and volume, you can't get around that. So when I say volume, it's the amount. The work for me not hard, right? But it's not easy work either, But the amount of work, it's a lot. It's a lot. So I'm always working. So I always have to do that work there, plus my other obligations and responsibilities and things like that. So, cut long story short, the doctor was like, he kept saying. So I said, because I was like, so what caused it? And he tell me, him say, there's no definitive cause. Him say, it's just like the flu. Your immune system can compromise, and that lead if you catch a flu. You can really worry about something and thing, and that lead you for predisposed to this thing. It can be working in conjunction with whatever diabetic things there and whatever. And so the consensus was slow down, just calm down. So he kept saying the thing to know is whatever caused it, if that is not alleviated, erased, or eliminated, that can contribute to it. That can make it stay there. So he was very clear in that. So now I said, I'm going to get rid of it. So he gave me medication. He gave me some medication. He gave me 2 medications. I'm taking. I don't know what it is. I don't like medication. But I took it. But I went to the pharmacy and come back to my late and all these things and whatever. But so I took the medication and whatever that does. But he was like, he was saying like, no, it's really something that it just run its course and it goes away itself, That implies that whatever he gave me, that implies, big up yourself, Shoika. Enough blessings and thing. See, the CAO, Canada. That implies that whatever he gave me is just supplemental, that there's no cure for it. It's a virus. It's a virus that doesn't have a cure. So it's like, just like there's no cure for the flu, there's no cure for it. But his thing is, do you want to cure it? Slow down. Take it easy and whatever you're doing that is causing this and whatever. But I know what caused it, I know what triggered it. Last weekend, I had to drive up to Canada. Yeah, so I drove up to Canada and it was like, because I had to, relatives, they had to see someone. What the hell is that? Oh, caller, 1 second. Oh, that's the other thing. The phone system had to them have a new thing. And so I have to turn off the ring on that. I'll figure that out after. Oh boy. I'll figure that out after. But 1 second, callers. I soon come to now. So I had to drive up to Canada to take some relatives to deal with an emergency there. And so it was a bunch of people. And they were like, we can't manage a drive there, we need somebody who can gangster the drive. Me can't handle long drive. At least I pride myself with that and whatever. For deal with long drive and thing, So I saw me go so boom now and Wednesday night and the Thursday night, I never really get no sleep. So the Friday, because I can't sleep, I'm trying to sleep, I can't sleep. So the Friday morning, me go get up like, 4:30 and thing and go so boom and go pick up the rental and go so boom and go pick up the people them and thing and whatever. Shut it on the road. Now from where we drive, for go up there, when you actually reach Canada Road after 6 hours, but then you have to do this thing and whatever and you go around. We were going to this place, Ajax, place called Ajax. But you have to drive another 2.5 hours from Interstate 81 and things. So with the driving and the couple stopping and thing and whatever, you talk about, 9, because there were kids there too and whatever. So you talk about 9.5, 10 hours of driving. So I go so boom and I shut off that now and thing and them did need for go do what them need for do. That is private for them. But when them are doing them need for do now, me need have the kids them because the kids them couldn't go in which part them I go. So me need have the kids, some couldn't sleep. And think and whatever and then when I'm not trying to sleep and can't sleep and whatever it is. But anyway, the next day, Ray, this and that, blah, 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 blah. By the night, I can't sleep again. So my mind, I'm going to sleep the Wednesday, I'm going to sleep the Thursday, I'm going to drive 10 hours, I'm going to 10 hours, I easy drive that, right? Because I don't come up, this, I never ever snow, but people who are winter driver, I know someone not drive, in an icy place. It's a different type of driving. It's a different type of driving. People who are not winter drivers don't know what I talk about. But it's a different type of driving you have to go on with. So you can't and gangster it. Worse, pick me in the vehicle and them something, a family in a vehicle and whatever. So one time I'm there, I'm drive different. You understand? So basically, I'm not sleep the weekend, So the weekend or whatever, because them did do what them for do and things. So in the morning, about 4 o'clock again, I tell you, I get up 3, 4 o'clock and can't sleep. I get up 3, 4 o'clock and can't sleep. I say, boy, so I can't drive and sleep and things. So them say, all right, you want to leave now? I say, yeah. So I'm not sleeping now. I say, yeah. So I'm say, all right, wake up the kids, and wake up everybody, and wake up my mother and all them people and everybody and things. I will go so Zoom and we show about and we stop off and for Canada, them are one sitting here en route. It's like, oh, it's for them type of stop on the highway. Get me look of coffee from a Tim Hortons and thing. Boom, and shut it off again. Dian, are you that? I can the rustler, are you that? Big up yourself, you know. Oh, you know your ratings lock and seal. Okay, anybody trouble you, call me. Anybody had trouble you down there, call me, Dian, I can the rustler, okay. Yeah, man, I'm shut off again. So people just go hard and not sleep. And it's the next 10, 11 hours that are driving and thing and whatever. So when we reach back is Sunday night now, people, by the Monday morning, you know, at that time that the thing start come for me, you know, that time I don't understand what I go on, you know. But it was strange and different, because I say, yo, that thing is different, man. Me never feel nothing like this, so that has struck me, you know. That's why I hear me, because I never say nothing on the Monday. By the Tuesday, it's still dead, because, you know, me, I one of them man, they like, me not run go doctor and them something, I write out things, you know, I look like original gangster something there. And my style that, you know. So, me there, I juggle it out and thing, I don't know, me have this and that for do, and there, and I go through, and I go through, and I go through. So, by the Tuesday, you know, me I say, yo, that's something I still there, man, I go on. When me wake up with the Wednesday, me I say, you know, so that thing is serious. So, I sound hear me with it on the show, the Wednesday night. But Thursday, one of my busy day too, you know, Monday and Thursday, I'm a hell day. It's like I have a lot to do on Mondays and Thursdays. So I just some second, me mama take my responsibility them serious, you know. And then the classes and things and me have to go. I'm go class, right? I've taught, I'm a teacher. I know the value. I always tell my students that, you know, sometimes when, particularly in America, them can come up with the strangest reasons not to go to school. Right? So when I was teaching here, you know, when I was a teaching assistant doing my doctoral work at the University of Connecticut, and the undergrad students would come up with the most ridiculous reasons not to come to class. I'm like, I want to them pick me up. And then, you know, say, you know, I taught at UWI also, and I just have a thing for people, you know. Yeah, life happens and things get rough and whatever, but you have to work through it, man. You have to go through it. Well, be careful. Don't follow Raga and go work through it too much and sacrifice your health. So there has to be some kind of balance. But so my thing was on Wednesday was, no, I have classes on Thursday all day up until 9 p.m. So I want to say to my friends who were like, from Wednesday night, go to the doctor, no. And I'm like, me have a Friday morning, man. And everybody was like, go to the doctor now, because people that I think are probably, you know, people that probably think that, you know, coffee is good for you right now. Andrew, like, seriously? You must be joking. People, I'm a coffee junkie, man. Mr. Latte, espresso latte. I mean that. Me a coffee man. Eh, so some me a beat it and thing and whatever, and people me think say that. But me go to the doctor this morning and like me telling you, I'm educated on this thing now. I now know what it is. I've never heard of it before. I want to thank you, the listeners and viewers, because you were right on the money from the get-go. In fact, when I first saw it, I was like, what are they talking about? I never heard of that thing before, whatever. What is this Bell's palsy and whatever, you know? But many of you, because if any of you saw from Wednesday's show, like in the comments, like, you know, people report, Raga, you have Bell's palsy. It's Bell's palsy. Like, you obviously knew what it was. And I want to thank you for, you know, letting me know, because when I eventually went and checked it, I was like, whoa, you know, you guys are on point. Because it was all the symptoms was exactly what I was experiencing. And then, of course, it was all confirmed this morning at the doctor, who said, yep, it's Bell's palsy and thing. And again, I'm just sharing this with you, because this is important. The doctor said Bell's Bell's palsy is not something serious where you have to worry about. Nothing like whatever. But what he also said to me was that at my age and whatever, this and that, and I don't know what I'm really saying, because, for the most part, I've always been healthy. I've always, I've, compared to other people and whatever, thankfully, I've always been healthy, I've been ready flu on your this and your that, and, you see people are drop down, you run, go do your little check up them, but for the most part, I've always been healthy. And the only thing that I really have right now, since recently with doctors or whatever, is the diabetes, like cut out the sweet and the starch. But I've always been healthy. But the doctor said, just so you know, the doctor said, while I have nothing to worry about with Bell's palsy, as if like something really serious, that it's not serious, he says it's usually an indication. It's the body's way of saying to you, it's under some pressure. And in this case, it's stress. So if you understand what he's saying that Bell's palsy by itself is not something terrible, but the fact that something is going on in your lifestyle that resulted in you having Bell's palsy, he's saying that could lead to worse things later. So I hope you understand what he's saying, all right? So he's saying Bell's palsy by itself is not bad. It's like another way of saying, well, catching the flu by itself is not bad. But if you always catch the flu and the flu, or whatever, there's something going on with your body, why your body is susceptible to always catch a flu. So, look at it that way. So he's saying like, okay, somebody, this is over. Well, big up the people, this is coming from the UK. I had Bell's palsy back in 2019 early, and I had to get strong steroids to help me from not getting a stroke. Yes, I have medication, and he told me that it was steroids. They said over here that most people who get Bell's palsy always end up with stroke. Oh. So take care, Raga, from now on, please. And I just want to be clear, I just read it, and the doctor told me, though, that a lot of people, they confuse Bell's palsy with stroke, but it's not stroke. But again, the doctor also said we should treat Bell's palsy as an indicator that the body is going through you're doing something with your body that could make it then later susceptible to even more serious ailments. So while Bell's palsy is no problem, your body, it's an indicator that your body is going through some sort of pressure and stress or whatever in terms of your lifestyle, where, later on, if you continue that way, it can be serious. And me and a young boy again, so I have to be careful. But so right now, see, it make me look like me the Joker. My mouth twist like me the Joker, like the Joker in a comic book. The Joker, the way the Joker look at all these things. And that's the other thing with me, like when things serious, me I joke it out, but that has always been my coping mechanism. 6 of one, half dozen of the other. That is part of the reason why I've survived this long. You learn not to take anything too serious, and you learn when you go through all the wickedest of thing, it's like, stay light. Don't make that stress there get you down. And I'm really good at filtering through stuff and be like, I can't do nothing about this. Can't do nothing about that. Don't worry about this. Don't worry about that and whatever. You remember the Indian man? Me live by what him saying, Yo, that's one of the greatest something me ever hear, you know. Oh, it go. You have a problem and you can't do something about it. So why worry? You have a problem and you can't do nothing about it. So why worry? What was the third one again? And there was a third one. I know I have it, but people, I'm real good at that. I must admit, I am phenomenally impressive with that. Is that I quickly assess something, and if it no matter, if me can't do nothing about it, not worrying about it. If me can't do something about it, then me just do what me fi do about it and don't worry about it. I think I have it here. I know, I'll try to find it at some other point, but I know I do have it someplace. I think. Right. But 6.5 dozen of the other. No man, Celine Dion have something different. Celine thing different, right? Was on echo for me. What is outer east? Mr. Raga, the girl from Hartford, backfish like dog. The girl from Hartford. You have to go tell me about that, when we get in a look at pricky right, so and all these things. So people, that's it. I have to go slow down and take it easy a little bit, and I can't really slow down too much with certain things. I want to know I have to finish. I'm finishing May, then I have a big exam in July. So, but I can reduce the stress in other areas, because there are other areas that are really, like me I tell you, we can up on the damn phone, so I really need to cut out some of them something. They call you and big up yourself, and things, seeing. Stress could also trigger the shingles virus. That, stress is just like the amount of thing, like stress is the worst, People don't know, stress. Stress make people severe illness get worse. Stress trigger, you getting so many other things. Like, stress is just ridiculous. Hey, whenever I see some people who stress make them look old, and when you hear them age, you're like, what? And it's just stress. And whenever I notice some miserable people, like some people who, them just cantankerous. For a long time, I thought that wasn't a real word, Because, you grew up with it. Them just cantankerous and thing, and them miserable, and them just say negative and everything. And when you talk to them it's just negative, and that gal there, and what them want to do. And whenever I notice them people, when you look on them face they look wonderful at all. And it's almost like them have a permanent scowl on them face, Them just always look angry, Stress do that. Stress make no people all before them time, as we say. All before them time. And you look when people who don't have no stress and whatever, them always look young and fresh, and them age, them look at something there and all, them look at thing there, you see. So I just want to know this side of my face right here, so is where it's what them call the paralysis. And paralysis is just a bossy term, meaning it is without energy. So if me I drink water, sometimes if me I drink something, I just kind of hold right just so, kind of hold right just so, it will come out. It's funny. All right, what? I'm going to smile now and watch. Watch your one side go up and one side straight, and watch. You see that? And I me I do that, you know. And I me I live up one side alone, you know. It's a turn down there. Yes, well. See you down as a steer? And that a go on. Yeah. Nakita, big up yourself because you're young and fresh now. Them for know. Okay. Kesu, what you say, use a straw? What you say? But Kesu, I know everything what you do with your mouth you can use straw for. I'm just saying. Of course, don't get it twisted now. Y'all don't take it over there. Do not go over there. Do not go over there, remember? Ragga with the innocent mouth. Not change. Ragga with the innocent mouth. Not change. So y'all don't go over there. Don't go over there. Do not go over there. Do not go over there. Right? But, you know, so straw can work with certain things, but straw can't. One day I'm on the train. You never take a train at daytime. I me talk and them on the phone and I look a boy, I look for me and I want to seem like him. Him say, and how his mouth looks. Because I did bad that day, the two, you know. It's like, look a boy, I say, I'm to him mouth. Look a boy and I can't more than about 3 or 4 on the train. Well, ostensibly with his mother. I'm assuming that the lady he was with was his mom. And, you know, and he might look for me and, you know, want to the man them out. Yeah. People, you have to laugh off of things, yeah, man. You have to laugh. You call all if me go kiss you now. How that would I go? And Tasha, big up yourself, you know, rate things and things. How that would I go like, you know? No kissing no go on. No kissing no go on. So no worry, nobody come go on like you know I'm fasting on my business. But me just I say, if you go kiss you know, how that a go work, you know? We have to kiss on that style, you know. Because over here, so I can't control over here, so. Why, it's a good thing, so I mean, Anthropologist, if this happen to you and you have a swipe, and you have to still a swipe, oh, you manage now. What you do? Cause if you saw, if the left side, cause this is my, the left side dead, what you do? Swipe to the right, you know? You can't do what Beyonce say. You can't go to the left. What are you do? We can't bother. Hey, in Anthropologist, how that a go? How that a go work when you swipe? Oh, and by the way, you get some little minor swelling, but like if I touch right, I saw it hurt, but ordinarily it not hurt. So you can't see, it just glands. I don't understand the glands thing, right? And I, yo, but tell me something, you know, I look at kissing and going, may I try to figure? Yo, do remember I say, today when the show are done, me go lock off a YouTube side, because the show really, it up on Twitch now, and it up on Facebook, Ragashanti page on Facebook, and it there YouTube. Big up the people them over Twitch, my son. Alright, all of my Twitch linky, then big up on yourself. But I just want to know, so when the thing, hold on, so how the Twitch picture now move? They might hear me over Twitch. But the picture now, the video now move. Alright, I soon get to that. But I just want to know, so when it done, I lock off the YouTube, lock off the Facebook, and play some bad tune over Twitch. You understand? And play some tune and sitting over Twitch and now stay long still, Friday evening. So I'm going to play for a while and left and I have to go visit my kids them, you know? And play. Remember, you have to show up, make sure you show up. You know, that thing that important. You may not be able to, you know, boom, based on your hustling and thing, you know, you able to do that, whatever. But make sure you show up, right? You want your kids them, not care what I go through, you want youth them to say, them have some memories, because you did dead. You did your presence was there as much as is possible, right? Make sure that is priority. All right, so we'll open the phone line. If anybody want call in and say anything on this thing for a bit, and then we'll go to some other things. You can call in now, please. Oh, sorry, darling, dear, over there. Hold on. I'm going to send you the link here. No worry yourself, man. My bad. I'm going to send you the link here. Thanks for the reminder. Yeah, man, take time with me now because you don't know. You don't know. But no, but I like the little kissing go on here, so no. You like kissing on and all the lady go so boom and chew her tongue over upon that side. How it go? How it go? How it go? Yo, Raga with the twist mouth. Fox, brother, rest them out. Rest them. So, Fox, why you never just say rest, you know? Rest. Why you have to say rest them out? Like, will you try to say something? Like, why you say rest them out? Okay, them say them I hear me over Twitch. Good. Why you say rest them out? You know, Fox, like, Fox, what you know about my mouth? What you know about my mouth, Fox? How you tell me rest my mouth, Fox? What you know about my mouth? Miss Lady, how you know about my mouth? How you know about my mouth, Fox? Listen to me, man. Don't start drool. Yo. Talking about drool. To all of the man them out there, you ever date to a hot gal? And I don't mean that in a derogatory term, because you know enough Jamaicans think gal is derogatory, you know. But outside of Jamaica, gal is not derogatory. But you never date a hot girl yet, and she there in your yard and I sleep and I drool. Hey, them something they can't sweet me, see? When you know say I date a hot girl and thing and she there in your yard and sleep, and you there for your yard and you sleep and you know shot. I'm out just whoop now, lele water just a come out, I'm out and I say, cup on your blood clot, no? Look on you, cup on you now. Look on you now. Hot girl and look on the wall for water we run out of your mouth, pour you. You don't even see this. But when I knock them with a picture, don't. Yo, hot girl can't manage them something, you know. You know how much hot girl me talk to, and then when you talk to them, you say, B, you know, say you snore a little bit when you sleep. Oh my God, me? I snore? I'm like, yeah, you're human. Human snore. No, but I can't even. Wait, what's wrong? You know, you snore. Like, nothing wrong. I can't, no. Are you sure I'm a snore? Yeah. I'm like, yeah, you snore. Yo, enough woman can't deal with that something, you know. The down-to-earth woman, them cool with that, you know, you know about them. If you tell them, say, B, you know, say you snore, I'm supposed to snore, okay, boom. Say, how them woman that will keep it, but you see the real hot stush woman, they can't manage them can't manage it. They freak out. It's the weirdest thing. I'm love bad at them, see, because it's sometimes when you're on a date and you're like, yeah, man, she one of them, you know. She one of them will go freak out if it. So I'm like, you know, because hot girl, you know, most hot girl, you know, even them snore stush, you know. Yeah. I swear to you, most hot girls snore stush. It's like, they must snore and it sound like water out of hose. You know? Them tend to snore along the line like yo, but some of them have some proper snore, you know. But none freak out a hot girl for more than and a lot of women. And if you say, yeah, you snore. You know what nice too with them? Hot girl. When them asleep and fart, listen to me, man. Hey, what on? What is sitting there? What it? One of the greatest pleasure. I know this kind of sound a bit morbid and absurd and whatever. But one of the greatest, can remember, you know, a hot girl, nah, me can hear her fart, you know. No, she not making your ear fart. She not making your ear. We have been over this before, right? I'm telling you. Is first of all, I don't tell you already. If me and you start date, don't poop too early on me. Do not poop too early on. It's a natural body function, I know. So if it come out, it come out. It's not like I'm just gonna be anal about it and be like, like whatever. But I don't do well with early poopers, I don't do well with early poopers. So I appreciate a woman who camouflage or poop them, early and thing like that. So, right, and if you poop, I know it's a double standard, like I admit it. And if you poop, don't get too brazen with it and audacious and arrogant with it. I can't deal with it. I can't. I have problem reconciling, like, you date like a sweet, petite woman, and she just look like this fragile flower that you just want to protect her. You just want to take care of her. And, she may have like a soft little voice and thing when she talking, and when you're around her, she just kind of evoke this alpha male thing in you because, you just like, and you're the alpha male, and she's just like this sweet, delicate little flower right there, and then one day, she poof. It's inconsistent. It's inconsistent. And I am one of them. I have not reconciled that thing yet. Like a nice, sweet, dainty, like I have them woman and them all have some poop, and the poop no even the poop sound masculine. In a right. So the early poop of them, I don't do too well with them. So, but what I say is, we have talked about this, and you can date a woman forever and never hear her poop. It doesn't mean she doesn't poop. It just means that you don't hear her poop. Because women are really good at hiding them poop. So, at girl them, especially, we're not talking about the down-to-earth woman them or whatever, who just joke it out and thing and whatever. But the hot girl them who go and tush. And we have a saying like them, SHIT can make patty. Where Jamaicans get that from, by the way? So weird. But anyway, so them they freak out if you tell them say, yeah, you snore. Them freak out about that. Them freak out if you tell them say, yeah, you poop when you're asleep. No, I don't poop. What are you talking about? I don't poop. It's like, yeah, you poop. You're a human being, and human being poop. Nothing wrong with it. Nothing wrong with it. Human being poop. I say you poop. Hold on, I make allow access. Hold on. Oh, at the phone. Me turn off the ringer, yeah. Push.
Hey.
Yeah, hold on.
Sorry for here.
Hey, sorry for here, what?
I'm sorry to hear about your job. It seems like Jamaican people always have their own assessment. It seems like you catch lockjaw. Because most of the time, with this the eating meeting, that rest your jaw a little. You have a rest here there. You don't laugh over things, right? But you don't listen.
Hold on. Right? At the eating meeting, what them say at the eating meeting about resting your jaw, what?
Rest your jaw. You cannot continue eat. You have to rest your jaw. It will develop a thing they call lockjaw. Right. Kind of like your jaw. It's like you use it too much. It just get numb.
Okay.
So then teach me all these things that eating meeting. Okay. Right? And they even show you where you can rest your jaw later. You have a rest here and then call it the chin rest.
Hold on. So, when you're eating, you rest where you rest your the chin rest. Tired. When you're more tired. When you eat juju and you're more tired, where you rest?
You have a place right there, 1 inch across from the juju. Yeah. You call it that's a rest area. Like a little rest area. You rest your jaw a little. Right?
Okay.
Ease your jaw. But there are people who just continue and just eat.
Right.
I'm not saying you do that, I just...
No, hold on. Certainly you could not say that about me, Vish. You could not say... No.
I accuse you like that.
Okay.
Right? But I just said...
Are you not even hold on. Are you not even imply it either? Say, what me have is from like I eat too much and never did a rest.
I'm not saying I just said...
Certainly not.
Yeah, it just remind me of them things we had the eating meeting.
At the eating meeting, okay.
Right, because you have to eat a proper way, and then you have a time when you stop eat if you jar too much. And there are people eat fast. There are people who eat slow. Right. So most people who eat fast end up with lap jar sometimes. You have to ship all your jar, hold your hand on your jar, ship it and massage it every seed coming by.
Oh,
right?
okay.
I'm just telling you, I'm not accusing you that's what happened.
No, but certainly not. Right. And for the record, we just want to remind people that could have never been the case with me.
And we have brochure where we can show you the proper way of eating and so on.
Hold on, you guys have brochures? What show the proper way to eat? Oh, okay.
Proper way. So, I don't know. I think they have developed that job. Where you get it from, I don't know. But you have to watch it, you know?
Yes.
When you can take your finger, them and massage your jaw, hold your jaw, move it around. That's what we do, right?
Well, when you said that, that's what we do. When we
are making jaw tired, we take my hand and shake it like a massage your jaw, you know?
Wait, are you telling me that sometimes when you eat, you just take your hand and just start massage your jaw and loosen up your jaw and thing and like that?
If you're time when your jaw tired. Just like how you see the preacher preach and then get thirsty and drink some water, right? And then continue, right? But
so tell me something. When you're eating, right, and a lady and the woman are watching, because I have read that sometime when the woman them get them look eat them like for look down and look on them. So when you rest now, if you there eat and you go rest now, that's because I would think, because I've never been in that position, I would think that the woman going to raise up her head and kind of look and like to say, what you as a man do in that position there when you eat and she enjoy, but you're just tired and you rest, and then she that no kind of cut the rhythm or kill the vibes. What you do?
Everything there right there. Notes and everything. Still connected. Everything connected.
What you mean?
Right?
What? Everything what?
Connected. You have a connected thing down there. Everything in place. Not even though you rest your jaw at the chin rest. It's called chin rest.
The chin rest.
Right?
Yeah, but when you're resting, you're not eating. So what?
No. You just stop chin rest. You know, you breathe yourself on the clock. Hold on. For people who do sexual intercourse, sometimes they rest, you know. Sometimes hold on a minute, right?
I know, but I'm asking you, when you are eating the lady, your head is between her leg and you eat, and then you decide for rest and you use your chin rest. I just think, hold on, I think naturally that woman going to raise up her head and look down and be like, what's going on?
She's just taking a break with me too. She know that I'm resting, right? You have to rest
you are the expert here, so I have to go with what you said. But what I'm saying, so the woman, so when you stop the woman, now look up and see what you do.
Yeah. You know, Raga. Let me tell you something.
Yeah.
You run Polyfac, you know. I can prove it to people, you know. If I didn't have the power to left some rat pies and planet, you know, and you'd have say who eat and who not eat. When you're king over.
What you say, bro? Prove what? What you trying to say?
I want to know, and I have the power, right?
Yeah.
I would choose some rat pies and planet, right?
Yeah.
And you say you can go and read the book. And then we will read that Psalms over your grave.
Right? No, you can't say what you...
Enough.
Nah, happen to me. Yeah. Nah, happen to me. Nah, I'm to me.
Okay.
Talk where you talk. Talk about
which one of them
talk
to that typical what
talk about Mikey Smith. But talk about Mikey Smith. Talk about Mikey Smith. Talk about Andrew Purple. Okay. Talk about Chicken Back and them. Not me. Talk about Mr. G. Okay, cause I them I read the brochure. I will answer one. Tell me some of the man them I quietly send for the video them on the brochure them. Tell me who Andrew Purple, no. Andrew Purple do it, no.
Andrew Purple a big member and I think.
Wait, say Andrew Purple a big swiper and I think.
No, Andrew Purple a big.
Well on. Andrew Purple got the eating meetings.
Them are delegating. When you go in like you get invited now, you can't eat before then, man, and then man have to eat first, the delegate eat first, then.
Oh, you know? Them get it fresh. Yeah. Them get it fresh.
Yeah, them get it
So well, I know. If me gonna know, and me I gonna give my first seat, me I forget that eat, me I forget eat and left door.
You have to wait.
Well, you have to get. Me I forget eat and left door. What left door?
Yeah. Not really much left, but the delegate happy them meal. Right?
Yes.
First, before anything.
Yeah, seniority.
Right? So members, and they give you a prize. Like, if I carry the most member, if I carry the most person as a new member, I get a gift, you know?
Oh.
You know? They give you a gift, it's like you gain points and all of that, you know? Okay.
Yes.
And say, me can you go there now and you skin up all your peers and discriminate the meal where we having? It's like, I could get suspended because I'm the one who carry it. So I have to warn you and tell you the rules and regulations.
Right, you can't go there and go skin up your face and I go on like you want France.
No, you know?
Okay, that no word.
Talk about a fire burn when you know?
Yeah, that not really work. Yeah, that not really work. Can't think about it. Okay, that is interesting. So how is the membership though at the eating meeting? Somebody had been spreading a rumor that the membership had declined, that the numbers are dropped. Is that true? Or it increased?
No, because of Corona, you know, then the kind of suspended. So some people turn up sometime because of that, because you have to wear masks and the mask not go with them things. You know?
Yeah, the mask and eating. Yeah. You have some challenges there. Some challenges.
You know, God, you have some challenges.
Yeah,
so, you know, things are getting back better now, you know?
Yes. Why you love the folk cream? When I post, if people listen to it, I say, listen, them too mad ras, they're too damn idiot. But that's what it's about, man. Laugh every day, people, and you know, and get rid of stress. Yeah, that's the thing there.
I said, you know, the chicken food take over in a restaurant them over here now. Nowadays, that chicken food around the place, you know.
No, hold on. You serious? Remember, say them not like it up yet. Them, most of them for even people. I find it interesting, you know. Even people who related to Jamaicans and them get raised like Jamaicans up here. And them love them oxtail, them love them stew peas, them pepper. A lot of them can't go, them still not eat the chicken foot, you know.
Right. Well, what happened here now? The oxtail gets so expensive, and then the pigtail get expensive. So what they do now, the turkey neck and turn it in a turkey neck. I get the oxtail. If you know if you cook it, you get the smoked turkey neck, right? And when you smoke and you make that in a stew piece with the chicken foot, I want to tell you the oxtail have to watch himself because turkey neck they're right behind him. Because two oxtails are expensive. Turkey neck I brush shoulder to shoulder with oxtail now, you know.
How are you now?
You hear me?
Yeah,
man. I pay stew piece with chicken foot and turkey neck I run the place now.
So
right?
them a warm up to the chicken foot. Them a warm up to the chicken foot.
Yeah, man, the chicken foot, it's like it come in like you take it and I make up the oxtail, right?
Yeah. Well on. Sonia Nelson of Canada, she posted, who the pluck eating chicken foot? Yeah. And a Grenada, no, she a Grenada she come from.
Well, we can speak for Jamaica, for Grenada. I can speak for Jamaica, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but the people buy a chicken foot yet. I'm buy 3. I put on 3 for the next day. Right?
Well, people buy 6 chicken foot and boil 3 and put on 3 for the next day.
Put on 3 for the next day. Yeah, people do it. So, you have to economize, right?
Mm-hmm.
And stretch out the thing. Like when people cook chicken back, and also chicken back we cook. Chicken back, Jamaica different. They come in like, yeah, it's soupy, then just stretch it out. But through the economy now, the people them just say, watch out, we are going to use the chicken foot and make soupies nowadays. And the turkey neck. All the restaurants, when you look, I hope a turkey neck, but you have to buy the smoke one.
Okay. Well, my general, I mean, I want to say congratulations to you for keeping up the eating meeting and so forth. And
ask one of them Bible people on the internet there if they can say a word of prayer for your job for me, you know?
Ask one of them what? One of them what?
One of them people who know the Bible, you know, we can answer like, ask the Lord to get back your job together. You understand me?
Puss, me can tell you something.
There are people who can pray. Good prayer. You know some people.
No, but remember, say we have a thing in Jamaica where them say you burn bad like or burn bad candle or pray bad prayer, you know.
Right.
You see when you are talk about prayer and for look out for my job, I don't trust you because you tell me.
No.
You come hold on, remember talk. You come on my shows repeatedly and you said your greatest goal in life that you will pay any money. Forget evidence. For send me a swipe. You know, like if somebody have a video for send me a swipe, you have a reward and all them. So I don't trust you. I don't trust you.
I have $1,000. I have $1,000 in my life saving, and I willing to give it up.
For what?
Right? I willing to give that person an award for bringing that video to me. Right?
But you're going to keep your $1,000 because that not gonna happen.
And you know something?
That
would go viral.
Wait, you mean a video with Raga swipe?
With Raga, that would go viral and I call it a food off it. Yo.
Suppose if you see me a swipe, would you say me you just talk about people who swipe too fast? Would it if you see me a swipe, would I be a slow swiper or a fast swiper?
I think that you're a fast swiper. That's what caused your job on another accident. You know? It's like what? You eat and nobody come catch you eat, so you hurry up and cut and swallow.
No, but from what I have read about swiping thing, from what I have read, and some of you remember King Swipe and Boko and all them people who are hot sucker. No, we can't leave out hot sucker. And again, soccer people, I could just remind you of some of the honorable people from who call Ragashanti show for years and years now, and these are honorable members. We have King Swiper, we have Boko, them up in the Bronx, and we have Soccer Few. This is somebody who really names Soccer Few, and we have Hot Soccer. So them four.
Second back on me, I want to friend them here, soccer. TSC first.
TSC first.
Yeah, this Mr. Tasty first.
Mr. Tasty
right?
first. Okay. All right.
Tasty first. Right. So,
all right.
I hope I remember that.
So what so you feel say at that my job.
You did a cut and swallow. A cut and swallow. And you have no experience about this thing here where they teach you by the eating meeting. If you know that you have to stop and swallow first. They tell you to stop, cut and swallow because you will choke. Right?
Okay.
Yeah, you know if you eat too fast you will choke, right?
Really?
Yeah, man. If you keep packing up our food, I don't believe so. You get one of the fat one and you know that glutty down so. I know what you say.
What are you Billy saying? What you say, Billy? Say me get one of the fat one and me just see as my mother would have said. No, push. My mother would have said, you gravelicious, see? You remember that word, the gravelicious? Mother said, I can't deal with the food, so I can't have a gravelicious with the food, so no.
Just because you think that somebody I go come and beg you somebody. You know that gluty down like that. You know?
Okay. So hold on. The fat one them kind of bring out something different in you when you deal with them. The fat one, them the fat juju them also. Eh?
Well, you know, one time we get one fat one.
Well, I'm in a say one item, one what?
One time, I eat one fat one time, right?
Yeah.
And when we finish, this is between me and you, know, right?
Right,
so
just between me and you. We're not telling nobody else.
Cut them off.
Yes. Yeah, then cut off. Them not here no. They're not here no.
And we get one fat one, and we are over there deal with it, right?
Yeah.
When we finish. Well, I don't know which part this come from. One rocky belch, man.
You belch? What hell of a belch?
What hell of a belch? You want that boy, you're hungry.
So when you don't swipe her, you just end up with one, you just like a one big belch and she said, boy.
Well, I don't know where the belch come from, you know. Like you know, that's you know, drink. Good like one glass of water, you just got it down fast, and then you boom, and the bed just come out naturally.
Right.
Man say, yeah. And a girl one time, she said, Wi-Fi, yeah, eating a pussy ever done something good to eat. Look how you put your face, it coming like caviar.
You look at your face, it coming like what?
Caviar, we are going like a caviar.
Caviar. Right. Okay, yeah.
Do man, look at you. First, you ever eat something so good.
When you're done eat her and thing, and she see your face just look balanced up, she say, look, wait, at the first you eat something so good now, it coming like a caviar, you just eat now. But post.
You don't pay see woman, you know?
No, yeah, someone ring, man, yeah, someone ring.
A woman never tell you that yet.
No, but go back to the belch, you know. Remember, you know, when you belch, it's an indication say your stomach settle. Right?
Yes, that means
so if you go so boom and slurp up a chun and slurp up a chun and your belch after a good chun that in a post a good chun that man.
A good. They want to make the belch man, they want to look at me and say, boy, it look like they really hungry.
White squall, it deaf on you, man. The peckish, it deaf on you, you know?
I want to eat a potato, get a good meal. Look for your
No, but nice little try you make a while ago do, you know. Don't believe me, never notice it. What you do a while ago. You know what you do a while ago, don't
you know you're smart.
No, man. You know, you're sneaky thing quick, sir. So, Raga, woman never said that to you yet. You know, I look an indirect thing for kind of try catch me like, you know, a woman, yeah, man, like, and you see you're smooth with it, like, yes, I want. So, Raga, woman never said that to you yet. You know, whatever. Yeah, nice little try you make, man. Yeah, a while ago when you do it, I said this dirty ass, yeah, man.
You remember one girl with the name Courage, right?
Courage, yeah, man. She's still about, hard-working girl.
Yeah,
hard-working girl, yeah.
Hard-working girl.
Yeah.
And Raga, when you see Raga love a call, you can't done that call and none at all,
Mm-hmm.
Because Raga will block everything when you come with that, mean you can't done it. So me say, how can I done Courage without Raga try to block it? Because when Raga rate somebody, you know, make sense about that done them. If you know rate him, he will let the way out. Like somebody come to done me, then just say, see that, me and the nastiness, right?
Yeah.
And Courage running. I say, you know, maybe back up Courage, but Raga go pick up here. He said, wow, you know, we like Courage. She's a real hustler because she sell her little food and she sell her clothes. But one thing with Courage, when Courage that sell clothes, she on one side, other side then can't fit her, right? That means if you not sell, she just wear them.
I saw you did done that.
You never see that at Courage, Yeah, man, Courage telling you, and one thing we like with that, and you just go outside, you know, see coming in the man, it's like a Jordan and Pippin and pass the ball like
Yeah.
Courage make sure she buy one size. We can fit her. That means if you not sell, right?
No, man. Yo, push back in the day when you kill people, and not normal, man. When you kill people, People dead.
Then look how we used to cuss you. If we never cuss you, I remember Leah tell you, say, to put out some live bed on the sperms so that they can swim because they have joined before they reach them.
Yeah.
By the time we look, Raga got a tree, right?
No, you know, so remember that kill there.
Yeah, man.
Raga nah breed nothing.
Yeah,
Raga. Well, I true push I tell you, Leah said, come here tell people say me get beaten all the while. So no man my head get bust. Leah said, Raga, you need to put some life vest for your sperm then because them are drown before they reach.
And the word couldn't come out that much. It look like Raga do exactly like the Leah said.
Give thanks to my tree, you them. Well, me good because when I'm wicked. But anyway, Papa, I bring in some other people here and thing, all right?
All right, big up yourself.
I'm a general, not say a word, man. Protection. The great push that people, you don't know, veteran in anything. When them man attack, I just be a vibes. You understand? See? This thing I say, man, it's so weird. Just not used to it. I have something with me I play it, but if anybody, I think someone did a call about this Bell's palsy thing here. So I just see if any more calls there before I play when I play. See if there are any more calls. All right. So in the meantime, I'm going to play something and get it over with quick. But a trigger warning. That this is disturbing. I post it on my IG. So we'll go over IG on probably hear it already. A few people on the sound couldn't listen it right through. Understandable. And sadly, I'm in this game long enough also to know that a few people over on my Instagram. One second, caller. A few women came out and say them go through something similar, but sadly we know some more people go through, more women especially go through them something. And so I just want to forewarn. Yeah, wait. Carla? Hello?
What?
Yeah, where go on?
Good afternoon, sir. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year, everything. Long time in talk to you.
Seeing.
Massachusetts.
All right. Yeah, man.
Enough respect.
Yeah.
Hey, Rag. Anybody seen the clip with the policeman where shoot up their girlfriend and something? Somebody sent it to me last night. What do you think about that? But not for a long time, something or it just happened. Wow.
Policeman will do what?
Go find a man and in a woman yard and he kill both of them.
Me know about one long time something with that, but me don't know if none will just come out. So probably a long time when you
Me don't know if it just come out. Somebody sent it to me yesterday.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, probably a long time something because I me know about 2 long time, but you know,
Jesus,
yeah.
God, man. Wow.
Yeah, but me don't really play those, you know.
Oh God, man. A policeman of our first because a policeman are easy at Jamaica to ramp with people, woman and something, and then turn around. You know, somebody I eat free food and carry on like that. Wow.
No, but even the statement where you just make is inaccurate.
What do you mean?
Yes, sir, the policeman. No, I know what you mean, but I'm saying that, but therein lies the problem. When they say somebody are eating food and thing and whatever, I'm not eating food.
Okay, well, in yes, I understand your conversation, yes,
Right.
Because a woman can't do anything she wants with her things.
It's her body, right? I mean, you could be upset as much as you want and whatever, but you still don't have a right to harm that woman, not care.
Exactly.
If a woman burn you, all if she burn you with your best friend, that doesn't give a man with your brother. That not get any man any right figure put violence on her.
No man, you tell us man is something just he just rub around with man. Say, why must you go so far with that, man? Come on now. Wow.
People have said what you're talking about is something that one is recent. So it looks like
recent?
Yeah. Well, John say a recent and him usually know what go on and things. So him so the one where you are talking about a recent thing. So when him catch him woman a bunny man thing and when him do him kill she.
Both of them were there.
Him dash right 2 of them.
2 of them. Yeah, tell them, man. Somebody gonna send it come here. Man.
Well, if them send it, I don't post stuff like that, do you know? I don't.
No. I don't want you to post it.
Right.
I don't send that to anybody in Raga.
Right.
I don't send that to anybody at all. No,
right.
Anyway, Happy New Year. Happy New Year and enough respect, man.
Yeah, man. Blessings, man. Cool.
All right, easy, bye-bye.
So nobody call for a second, and I'm going to just play a little thing right now. I say, it is a young lady, right? And she not young. It sound like I would say she in her either probably the lowest age or somewhere around 19, 20, but more than likely she 20 or whatever. But so I just giving you a trigger warning that I just want you to hear, and there's a reason why I'm playing this. Because and just so people know, it's just the sound on the ground here, and I'm not going to say nothing, right? So for those of you worried about seeing certain things and whatever, first of all, I wouldn't play any video on sittings that is too disturbing. In fact, I don't think YouTube allows you to do that also. YouTube don't allow you to do it. But anyway, I wouldn't do it anyway. But I just want to hear this man, trying to get his daughter to be intimate with him. And I want you to hear the manipulation that he's engaging in, because she secretly recorded him about her for sex. So him not know say she a record him. But me just want to hear the depths of where the man go to and the things them what him say. Because me already know say them something sadly them go on. So me know that long time, right? You know, these are stuff that I've had to deal with people who go through things and whatever. I have colleagues who are counselors, psychologists and psychiatrists in Jamaica who deal with these things. And on many occasions, women from I was at UE, they come and them talk to me, of course in confidence, and I've had to refer them or I help them as I could. So I know this go on. But the reason why I'm going to play this one for here, I just want to listen and hear how far the man go with the thing, like, in terms of trying to convince him daughter. If he do so, like, the language them when use. I want you to listen to the tone, his tone, like, the way him a position himself, like, the sickness. Like the perversion, whether it is the idea is to position himself like this, whether him really desperate for it or he's acting like he's so desperate, like, and the guilt when I put on the girl and thing and whatever. Right? So I'm going to play it directly off of my Instagram, right? And again, it's just a sound on the going here, right? People protect on the children. And my daughter 5, you know. And she already, me no make she even use bathroom with her brother, you know. Because I want she understand them boundaries there from early. And nowadays you feel like teach your son them the same thing too. Right? So sometimes she want pee and she run, because she look a picnic. Run go and she left, and I said, Jide, what is wrong here? What is wrong here? I left the door open, Daddy, exactly. What should you do? Must maintain my privacy, exactly. I'm going to make you come, you know? And you know, you go through the little thing and think, who's supposed to see you naked? Mommy, Daddy, and Grandma. Anybody else? No. Right? And even me just, you know, me don't want she even get too comfortable with me as a male figure. Right? Clearly she trusts her father. I mean, I would never harm my daughter, obviously. But me say, even me, like, you know, me don't tell her mother already, say, even at a young age, you know, she'll get up, me tell her mother, say, yo, me no want to round her when she naked now and thing or whatever. You know? Me don't even want she get used to a male authority figure. You know. She being naked around a male authority figure. She has nothing to fear from her father. I would never hurt her, obviously. But you know, see where me I get that. Right? You know, see where me I get that. It's like you have to worry about them look at something there, you know? So, again, him don't say nothing graphic. Because him actually not say, him actually not come out with it, you know. But even that by itself is manipulative, you know. And you could see that she's clearly, like one of the comments them over Instagram is like, why she keep on to call him daddy? What she call him daddy for? What she call him? And, you know, my respond to the comment and say, no. It's a good thing that she call him daddy. And she kept on calling him daddy. And I said, daddy, no. Because have two purposes there. One, in her position, she'll remind him by keep on saying, Daddy. He's like, you're my father. You shouldn't be doing this. Daddy. Stop. Daddy. Stop. Daddy. Stop. No. It's not going to happen. And then the second thing, why I think it was wise for her to keep on saying Daddy. Like, no, Daddy, no. Unfortunately, sometimes these young girls, when them say them things, a lot of people don't believe them, A lot of people them don't believe say it happen. So by saying Daddy in there and whatever this and that, it established the validity of the recording. There can be no doubt that it was indeed her father. Now, again, this is troubling and thing, but I'll go and play it because sometimes the seriousness of them thing, All right. You know that sound there a while ago, I happen to think that is just a condom wrapper, but I don't know.
No, they said no, not Daddy. They said no.
God, help me now. Help me, Chanel, please. It's all that you can do it for me, please. Please, baby. Please, darling, please.
Daddy, no.
Let me do it from outside. Let me do it from outside.
No, stop.
Come outside. You can't reach with the clothes. Chanel, please, I'm begging you faithfully to God. Help me, let me help you now. Oh God, Chanel, you serious,
No.
Please, no.
Daddy, no. No, Daddy, no.
Oh God. Chanel, please. Please, oh God.
Daddy, no. Stop.
No, I'm going at it. You're not gonna work like that, someone. I love it. You really do me this? You really doing me this? Chanel, I'm not hurting you, no? Please, for once, oh God, look, I tell you, we do everything for you. I will make you be the best daughter. Honestly, give you everything for you, make you out your comfort, take you from over there, make you go to college, stay at college, everything. Food on the table, everything. If I invest in you that kind of way, what you do for me?
I mean,
if I find myself investing in you like 600,000 a year, what would you do?
I'm gonna understand if it expound.
If I invest so much money in you, what would you do to make me happy back after all?
I don't know. I don't know.
You don't know? What do you think would make me happy?
What would make you happy, Daddy?
Don't know. What do you think would make me happy?
I don't know, that's why I ask you.
Would you go the extra mile to make me happy?
Yeah, who wouldn't want to make their father happy? Who wouldn't want to make their father happy?
So suppose me want a bit of happiness when no other woman ever do to me.
Meaning?
I don't know.
You have to talk to me. You have to talk to me.
I don't know, just trying to say, suppose I want a bit of happiness when no other woman ever do for me.
I don't understand you.
I don't know. Meaning, like how I don't have no one at all, and I want a bit of happiness.
I don't understand you.
Then I don't know how much to explain it then. I don't know how much more to explain it. If I lie to you, I tell people what I do. Yeah. Can't even go on.
No, just say no, no, Daddy. Just say no.
Clearly very, 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 very disturbing. You know, I mean, I when I posted, I tagged the Jamaica Constabulary Force, the Gleaner, the Observer, the Star, whatever, and things like that. There were some people misunderstand some things because some people said, then why she say, "Me don't know what you mean. Tell me what you mean." And when she say, so she said something like, "So which daughter wouldn't want to make them father happy?" There were some people that misunderstand that. She's recording him. She's recording him. So clearly, I know the first time him do this, you know. I know the first time him do it. Right? Because if she sound calm, it no means that she complicit in anything. She sound calm because she don't want him be suspicious that she record him. And at the same time, he might ask her a question and I say, why so and so and so. So she have to respond. So naturally she go respond in a way. Him say, what him always I say. What him always I do. So some people are listening to it and 1 second, me soon come to a call him. So some people are listening to this now and that kind of blame the victim thing there, I kick in me, so she's don't. So why she never load up one thing or whatever. Clearly she, she has stay calm enough for get him for say, when me think simple meds we tell you say, something him do already. Even more disturbing, there is a possibility that, I must say, OMP, of course, this is in Jamaica, OMP is 600,000 for she go school and whatever, and all them something there, for she go college. So, college age, would probably be 21, 22, 23, thereabouts, or even old. But, I am worried I shudder to think what may have occurred before she was old enough now to say, daddy, that not gonna happen, Right? But there is no way the recording. Wait, me soon come to the call. There's no way she would have set up the recording and them something if she never knows say something like that would have happen. And calmly they say, whatever. And nothing about you hear that little sound there at the beginning, a condom or something or whatever. And I'm not going down there. Me not go down that side in terms of. So why I'm just feel comfortable for start and I put on a condom first and then I go to her. Because in thinking about that, we have to come face to face with, the likelihood of, unfortunately, what could have occurred to her before. So there's a possibility where she'll put on her foot now, but who knows what happened before. But clearly, you heard the beginning with that sound, in terms of like, it sounds like a condom wrapper to me and whatever and thing like that. But it is obvious she want him to say what he has said before. And that me get from it. There was nothing there from that young lady to say that, then all she sounds so I fear thing not sound right or whatever. No, that never did it. And I wanted to resist the inclination, not because you have the luxury to listen this now, because you're in the position, you're going to be judgmental now and quick for say she should have this, she should have that, and if I did that. You don't know what she got through. None of we know what she got through for reach a point and now where she have to calmly put on her foot. None of we don't know what she got through. None of we don't know the psychology and the confusion what she's supposed to go through. Like, this is my father. The confusion. We're like, well, I don't want to be mean to my father. And, you hear him with the guilt shit. But when him do fear and whatever and all him something there, you hear him with that guilt something there. I don't think some people who I said this and that and I really appreciate how confusing that must be for a child. Because he's a provider and thing and whatever this and. But when I hear about him not have no woman and look what me do for you, what I'm supposed to blood clot do as a father. But him want she feel guilty now. Him do all of this and thing and help me back and whatever this. People are some them say that evil, And a man like that to out there, and you talk to them people, and them talk to you good, and them may sound like a decent man. Him liable for all I go church too. May put on clean clothes when him there work, probably are pleasant to people and all them something there and whatever and thing. You probably are talk to him and whatever. I know he's a good, decent man, that good kind man, and them man they are going with them fuck with the quiet, and them man they are put the pressure on them for the little girl, them, Not trust nobody. Don't trust nobody. No trust nobody when no picnic them. You the man that talk about things that I'm supposed to do as a father. You ever do them something as a father and feel good say you can't do them something as a father. May I come to a car, may I come, I soon take a car. You're supposed to do them something as a father and feel nice. Say you do that. Right? You know how much parents make sacrifices to them picnic and thing, and when all them picnic I come back and I say, Mommy, hold this now, Daddy, hold this now, and them say, nah, man, you're good, man. Keep you save your money, man. Save your money. But Dad, look what you do for me and look, save your money, man. All right. And I like say them are a millionaire or nothing, you know. But I love them as a parent. Them appreciate the gesture, you know. So them mute a show back love and thing and whatever. But don't worry yourself, man. You don't owe me nothing, man. Because them feel good at do what them for do as a parent. I did I talk to this girl and thing and this woman thing and me, you know, me like her grandmother, you know, her grandmother love me, you know, love her grandmother, if I look out for me, always at this. So, you know, them time there, you know, boom, you know, food I run and thing, and I always peel her a thing and say, yo, give me some of this, you know. And thing and whatever. I say, boom, say something I for miss me, and I squeeze her that and thing and whatever. And for years, when me and her attack, I was sending her a thing to miss me, her grandmother. And thing and whatever. And in my mind, miss me, I get the food and whatever. People, you know, say years after Therapeutic, one day she attacked to her grandma. She come and she say, you're not going to believe it. You know, say all of the money them where you give me for give grandma, Miss Mia, she didn't name. All the money where you give me for give Miss Mia. You know, Miss Mia not spend none of money. Miss Mia call me and say, anytime we need the money, it is here. So me I said to her, what you mean? Cause Viva them time there, you know, them time they are Jamaica, you know, millions upon millions me are making money, no problem. Money, no problem, right? So man, good. So I said, what you mean? What you mean all of the money? She said, all of the money, all them years that Miss Mia just tell her, say, yo, anytime when I need the money, see the money where you did, I said over, right? Bro, I just saw some parents there. Do all of the money you did and whatever. I said, John, look on that thing. But she have some understanding of love for your daughter and you know, and thing and whatever where fear focus is you know, yeah, our granddaughter bring back her food and thing, but I don't even take my granddaughter money, right? As a parent to think. Yeah, if you reach a point where you're indigent and you can't move and your parent and your people them take care of you, yeah. But that's something that people are supposed to obligated for do back for you because you did do work for them. No! If them show you about that love, they give thanks, but it's your responsibility as a parent to take care of them. And as we say in Jamaica, make sure them pass the worst. You know, you the whole of guilt to him I put on the young lady and thing, she in a college, she in a university, and him gonna make she feel guilty and now say, you know. All if she a graduate and him then, you know, her stomach supposed to sick. Some people who listen it and, you know, and I'm mostly, well, woman too, but I'm mostly who listen to me and say, John, you know what she got to, you know, she say, me in a college, I'm going to graduate and go for my own and thing, but, you know, I'm pay for the college and me not go do so and so with him, but I'm pay for the, you know that confusing for her, like, how she balance or something there. Dirty man. But you hear the manipulate, the man all bring in God, you know. The man all bring God in the equation, you know. And them pressures, there's some of our young girls them out there. You some man a walk around look decent and thing and whatever, and all I make all some judgment call by, from some people who them feel not doing enough to uplift the community and not doing enough to uplift the country and whatever, and full of one bag of chat, and you're frying if you know what them are going on with quietly. Yeah, the phone line I want me I know 646-880-9161. 646-880-9161 from the USA or Canada and thing or whatever. And the WhatsApp number is 929-400-1249. WhatsApp number 929-400-1249. Now, people, this is disturbing. And again, in case it's triggering for any of you out there, my apologies and thing, but they just want to hear some of the things them with the young girl them have to deal. Hello.
Hi, Raga, how you doing?
Greetings.
Greetings, Professor. That's what I always love calling you. Very difficult topic. One of your long-time listeners, and I always tell myself, I would never call on a show and speak about anything because, always maybe one day I'll actually put something in a memoir. But just to hear that recording just now, I just calm myself. Just to hear that recording just now.
Wait, nobody else called right now, please. Nobody else called right now. Yeah, go on, caller. Yes.
I like the fact how you defended the young lady, and it's the whole victim mentality. What I've come to find out is that over the years, Americans are more susceptible to understanding, give a level of understanding, but our people, not so much. It's always, you could do something. I'm so amazed as the years go by, how many people, if I did me, I heard that so many times I was coming up. If I did me, that do the so. And if you lock your foot that way there, nobody can get in. And if I do so, you see. And you heard all that. I'm going to take mine back. Not too much, I don't want to go too far, but I'm going to say, when I was in Jamaica and for them first to come here, something that started in Jamaica, indecent touches and whatnot have you. And as time went by, it's amazing how kids' brains function to block things out. You just simply block it out. And every now and then it would run across my mind, but leave it there. The person went away for years and filed for my mother and his daughter and myself. And I remember thinking when I heard that we were coming here, it jumped across my brain like, wow. That, some things that happened here back in Jamaica and so and so. But then I said, that time has passed and maybe it's just a fluke or what have you. And, forget all about it. And to come to America and you're here and all of 13 years old. And I never forget one night. This is if I watch late night shows. And I remember one night the first touch on the breast. And it's like all of a sudden, everything just rushed back. So then you cut that to the weekend now, mother's at work. And I'm telling you, people don't realize the hours that some of these people spend just to talk and to encourage. I would remember 2, 3, up to 4 hours would pass. And he would sit there convincing you of why this should happen. Among the tears, no matter how much stories that you could even bring up. I remember telling him one time, my auntie's brother-in-law had come from Canada and, did I touch? Didn't matter. They heard what they needed to hear. And one of the biggest manipulations was how much thousands of dollars he had spent to get us in America. Because when we were coming here to file and pay taxes, and so I was told that because of that, that would be a small obligation. Look how much somebody has done for you. And then another thing, You know, can you imagine if this thing doesn't happen? You know, your mother will get sent back home, and she has to
hold on. Him said that to you, so if it not happen, your mother. Hold on, and at this time you were still 13. You were around 13, right?
When this all started, yes.
Yeah. So when him says something like that to you, at 13-year-old and thing, right? I mean, clearly you're older now, where you you understand what the manipulation can. I hear it, all right. But when you're 13 and you say your mother may go get sent back to Jamaica if you not do this and thing, like, what went through your mind? How did that impact you?
Well, back in those times, of course, everybody want to come to America,
right?
You know, your mother not educated. You know, say, I'd look at nightclub she used to work. Did look at cashier work. So that's exactly what, I used to proud of the fact that my mother used to work $100 a week. And when my time came to go to Queens High School, the only thing missing was my dictionary because she couldn't find it. Morning for good, when we passed high school, everything, my bush and go like anybody I got school. And that's my mother doing. So when you're here, and you know how she used to work hard, and she used to come home like 4 o'clock in the morning, you know, sometimes stitches, hand bust with glass, so she'll wash. And so you hear those things. I remember one morning she came home, and when I looked, she had this big Band-Aid on. She said she pushed her hand in the glass to wash it. And you know how you turn your hand? And the glass was cut, the glass was busted, and it just ripped open her hand. Then you will hear stories about fights, you will hear stories about the nightclub life, and you know, and then. So
were you concerned that me don't want my mother go back in a them situation at Jamaica?
Precisely, because it was rough for her.
Right.
You know, you hear, you know, she started working from she was 16 and leave country and come a town. So, you know, it's difficult. As for most women, you know, back in them time there, they're not an education and come from country.
Right.
And get a look a job and I saw it, I forgot.
Right.
So when you file papers now and bring her here, that's the only thing she account and say, yeah, life will go better now and what have you. So that was a huge manipulation point. That was a big selling point of his. I remember the taxes, how much taxes he had to pay, how much money he had to pay for taxes to get us here, how much it had cost him. And the very big, like I said, sending my mother back home. Me, I wanted to be sent back home, but he was clever. He went the mother route because I wanted to be sent back home. It doesn't matter where I was going. Just send me back country.
Yeah, whatever. Just to take you out of that situation with him.
Just to take me out. You know, but I just wanted people to appreciate the fact, well, let's say she sound casual or what have you. I'm sure it's not the first time she's in the conversation, but I'm telling you, the hours they spend invested in convincing children and convincing young people, and as the years went by, it never changed. You know, I can say that it wasn't heavy sexual molestation, but of course, it was definitely involved on his part with, you know, the whole oral thing and what have you. And of course, you know, poutine and what have you and what have you. All those things, they take master manipulators. And like I said, one of the things I hear people, if I did damn, this wouldn't happen, and oh, you can't be 50, or you can't turn 16 and that happen. No, yes, you can. You're living in these people's houses. They don't do it when somebody's coming home. They don't do it when somebody's coming home in an hour. I remember on Sundays, my mother used to go to work, and it would start like about from 10 o'clock, the talking. When you're sleeping at night, you have to go to school the next morning. You're waking up, you know, to be convinced that this was
hours.
And at the end of it, it's going to happen. You're going to touch your breast, going to do things to you, all kind of stuff. I remember I was such an avid reader. I wanted to think, one time I read a novel, and I remember a young girl was in there. It was a man and wife thing, but I remember how she had, you know, blocked her brain, said, you know, she started doing this counting and stopping her body from responding. And I remember that's one of the best books I ever read in my life, because I had to use techniques like that because when you're young, your body will betray you. And so that's some of the things that I had to do, you know, but I'm so proud of what you did as far as reporting this. And like I said, this is my first time ever speaking. I really don't care who catches my voice or what not have you. It's just something that I think more of it needs to come out and people need to share more stories. Back in the day, listening to your program, you can't tell how many times we used to go through 2 days listening to stories upon stories, and they don't get any easier. And these people are walking around like they're decent people. You know what I mean? They are. I remember one time in a group of people, he was coming home one night, and he said that there was a sting outside, and police draw along this guy, and was like, you know, trying to arrest him back in the 80s drugs time. And I remember he came and said, you know, the young boy was like, I'm not doing anything, you know, I'm just coming home from work. And I remember the police pointed and said, no, that man is just coming home from work. You're the criminal. And I remember he told the story with such pride. And I'm like, if they only knew.
So when the police rush the youth and think on the street and whatever, and the youth tell the police, the police look on this man who's been terrorizing you, how long, and the police look on him and immediately conclude that this is a decent, hardworking man. That man is coming home from work. You say him tell about that story with pride, don't it?
With pride, it was one of the stories that we grew up hearing. You hear me? I tell you, I used to listen to that story, and I tell people, and if they only knew the pedophile that they had inside of that apartment.
And let me say something to you, all right? You said something just now, and you didn't call for me to put on my counseling act, but like I said, I've dealt with this, too often, too many times to count, and you say sometimes your body betrayed you. And I know what you're referring to, but if you don't mind me saying, your body didn't betray it. It's just an evil person, a predator who was exploiting you. You have a biology, so the body responds, So, because the term betray, sometimes it suggests some, things that, some pressures that people who have gone through, what you have gone through, have to deal with. And, could I have done something different? I don't know if you have gone through it, and could I have done, and sometimes you think like, why didn't I say something, or could I have, sometimes people can be a little bit hard on themselves, and that That's word true. Betray can be a little bit heavy. So I don't think your body betrayed you, because betray suggests like your body may have done something wrong. You have a biology. So if a predator comes on you and whatever, the biology is going to kick in. It doesn't mean that you did something wrong or anything of that sort, right? You did nothing wrong. And the other thing is, I want you to know that I hear you talking, and this has gone years ago, and the pain in your voice is just still raw. The hurt and the pain in your voice is there.
At a point. You always try to get to a point, where if I'm talking to my kids who are grown now and I'm recounting some things because I always want to make them aware, then I'm a lot stronger. I guess some of it is nervousness too.
Right.
But like I said, what triggered me in all the years of listening to people is that damn tape. I've heard people call your show back in the day when other hosts were doing it, and we all cry, we listen to them. But it's that damn tape that triggered me this evening, because I'm telling you, the hours spent just listening, and at the end of it, know that you have to lie down and let them violate you orally, touching all parts of your body, doing things, because that's what it leads to. It is not cute, and there's no other way around it. And if that girl gets away, if it happened before and touched her, and she got away with it by taping, and then God bless. I'm glad one got saved. But it's a lot of this went on, and it's like most of us are like walking wounded, you know, trying your best to and to get out of it, you know, out of it. And I always say that it is important to. I remember one of the things about your show back then was we used to encourage people to, you know, should I forgive so and so and so and so? And I remember letters came in and said, I don't know if I should tell so and so. Let me tell you something. Tell. That's what I'm going to say. I don't want to keep it too long, Professor. I don't want to keep the show too long.
No, that's
but
okay.
I'm going to say,
that's okay. That's what I'm here
going
for.
to say this. Tell. Back then, I didn't open my mouth. I didn't say anything. I remember at 16, things stopped, and 2-3 years went by. You're getting older. You feel good about your life now as far as it's yourself, it's your body. And I remember getting involved with someone. You know, I went to Jamaica and got involved with someone that was older than I was, and he found out about it. That triggered that again. And I wasn't having it this time. After an incident, and I remember him, you know, saying that this can go on. I said, no more. So I started telling a family member, and I told a friend. And that is how come, you know, that just ended there. But
Hold on. So when you were dating somebody, you're older now, around 19, so, and you date somebody.
I was about 20, yeah.
20?
19, 20.
Hold on. And he was attempting to assert control over you to prevent you from dating who you want to date?
Yes.
And was he making advances again?
He made advances and said to me that this is what's going to have to happen if you still want everything to remain, and this can be a one-time thing. And we're going to talk honestly here. Encouraged. Another manipulation factor that I fell for. Here it is, you're telling me that this is going to have to happen again. Now, you can be as brave. I remember back then I was that girl, brave, this, that. You know, when I say brave, I did my thing. I'm out here doing whatever.
Right.
But you see, when that predator comes toward you, it takes your mind back. Because, of course, that was my secret. Nobody knew what was going on with me. So when the predator comes back out and starts approaching you, you become jello. You become that person again. You're back in the day. You're all those years. You're those night times. You're those Saturday. You're those Sunday afternoons. You know, you're that girl again that because you're sick one time and then took her to the hospital. I remember he used to always be the one to take me, and my mother thought it was so cute. No, he was always making sure that I did not say anything.
Exactly. That at the hospital.
Yes.
And she thought that him insisting on taking you to the hospital and she think that was care and whatever, but him just want to make sure you not go tell the doctor the doctor them go examine you or something, and then you go tell the doctor them certain thing, and that him did. Wow.
Oh yeah. Couldn't maintain any friendship because I remember this one American girl, I got involved, started, friends with her, older woman. By the time you look, you went and told my mother that, when them come from work at night time, she out there with man, how much man, and this and that. And I remember the first Jamaican friend I befriended. She was over the house one evening and he came home. And the way she saw the touch, because he came and he kissed everybody good evening.
Mm-hmm.
So when I was walking her home, she asked me point blank. And she said, "Am I ever touch you?" And I was so ashamed. I lied. She became my best friend for years, and I could not tell her. I just could not tell her. I was a diary keeper for years.
Tell me, and don't, if I sound like I'm pressing you, you want to, like, whatever, just show me the sign, and I'll back up. But you are, if you don't mind me saying so, you're very lucid in your communication, like, and your understanding of the different phases and so forth is quite pronounced, and you are experiencing the raw, uncomfortable emotions with it, but at the same time, you have the capacity to reason and communicate in a rational, objective way. And if you don't mind me asking you, something just so that people could learn something from this. One of the things that people do not understand is that the impact of this type of predatory sexual assault on young girls, it doesn't stay there where it happened. It works its way in their parenting. There are a lot of women who have difficulties in adult relationships, and they don't know is because of the way they were victimized as a child, that some of those things are playing out. You have people who relate to their husbands and their their partners in ways where the husband and the partner get offended, like, why are you behaving like that with me and whatever, and they don't know that some of those things, where that is coming from with the wife, why she don't want you over this, so she feel nervous about so and so or whatever, and them end up take it personal. It causes problems in relationships and all these things and whatever, difficulties and things. So I'm curious to know if you were ever, and if you ever had experiences where you could say, there is some transference here from what happened to me before that is being operationalized now, whether unconsciously or subconsciously, and that that you end up having to struggle with it or to understand it and thing. Have you ever gone through anything like that?
Unfortunately, yes, you do. People might deny that they don't, but they do. And like I said, at 19 years old, I will take you real quick back there. Uh-huh. It was because he had done all that in the apartment.
Right.
I would realize years later that to get me away from the apartment was going to be another manipulation. So he convinced me that I should meet him at a hotel, take taxi fare and meet him at a hotel. Went there, and of course, all-out sex happened at that point. When I said all-out sex, full sexual encounter. Because before that, it was just inserting, pushing a little bit, going on. But when I found out that I was with somebody, then, okay, all bets are off. So I said, okay. So after that, you came home, you put that aside. 19 years old, I put that aside. I said, let me get the phone call. And I remember at the time I wasn't going to school. I was going to community college. And I remember I wasn't going that semester. I didn't have any money. And he called and said that might as well, you're not doing anything. You can go ahead and I'll come home from lunch and what have you. But at that point, it's like I just shut down, called my auntie in Jamaica, told her. Called a friend, told a friend. I called him at work and I told my auntie, you raised home. And at that point, it was like, held up his fist to punch me in my face. Tell me why I do that. Then took a knife and he's like, I can mark up your face, can this, can that. So at that point, I made an attempt to jump to her window. And I'm like, tell my mother when she come home what happened. We're on the 3rd floor, and I was prepared at that point. So at that very door, he swore, promised that he would never touch me, leave me alone, or what have you. So you have that scenario. You asked me after that if it had some transference. Yes, because for me, you're young, you want to find love and what have you. Mm-hmm. You ever eat something bad and you want the bad taste out of your mouth, so you drink some sugar?
Right.
It made me promiscuous. It made me promiscuous.
Right.
Not to say there were dozens and what, but the men I took, it was because I wanted to take that memory out. I wanted to, something had to replace the fact that you hurt me in that way. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Something had to replace that hurt. And then, this is your show, so we can talk. Mm-hmm. The most funniest part about this thing is that this person, of course, endowed properly. And so I wanted that memory gone because, of course, that was inside of me. But then over the years, it was the funniest thing. the ones I would choose, and men out there don't get offended. They were short. And so I could not get rid of that because I never met up into that.
Hold on. So you're saying that the predator, the father, he was endowed.
Yes, yeah, the penis size.
Right. Hold on. There's somebody WhatsApping me right now. I have because I reset the thing here. It and I know you want to send me messages and things, but I'll get to you after. Yeah. So you're saying that and I appreciate you being candid. You're saying that based on him that he was well endowed, that impacted you in some way. How?
It's because that came with pain. When that first started, that came with pain. As the years went by, I never got over the fact that should have been given to some little boyfriend. Some little boyfriend tried to be the one to, make you cry. It was some little boyfriend that should have done that. Some little boyfriend where you did there with, and you should. So now I remember one of the things that was said to me is that I'm doing this to protect you. Those are the teenage years at the house. I'm doing that to protect you. But how are you doing that to protect me? Because this is what you're going to have to meet out the road. So I'm going to do this to protect you and show you. So when, you're a young girl, of course, there's no credit to give to a predator. But of course, there was, like I said, no full-on sex. But it was inserting your penis, putting it in, going slowly, doing this. And nevertheless, there was still hurt with it. Right. Because that's not what you were supposed to be doing. And plus, you don't want this as a person. So every system in your body is shutting down. And it's forced at this point. So there was nothing pleasurable about any of this. So you're saying that when you started dating and you're going through what would have been your independent growth and your learning, it's as if you felt that he had robbed you of certain experience. So if you have your friends and they were talking about their new boyfriend and they lost their virginity, you felt displaced. You felt like of course. I see. Because it was never yours to give away.
Right. You never had that choice. Right.
It wasn't yours to. You have a little boyfriend. I remember one friend used to tell me about little guy she used to there with on the first time, or she cry and what have you, and of course she kept on going back. But that wasn't her story. First of all, I shut down at a certain point, and I would only do things secretly. Trying to find someone to to eradicate as much of that, not even realizing that that won't do it. But it had a part. I remember when I say tell Raga, it's because years, after about a year after that, I told my mother, and things that came to a head. Wanted to find out what happened. I was behaving a certain way, spiraling, and I told her. And I would say this part and condense a lot of that. When I told her, it was more like, how could you have done that to me? It wasn't, and then you had to kind of, at that point, you look at the person and say, wow. This is
Hold on. What did you say about, what you said about how could you have done that to me? What happened? What?
Well, that was her comment when she was crying. How could you have done that to me?
How could you or him?
No, he. How could he have done that?
Oh, to her.
Oh, it became like, wow, this is not even about you. So even in the confessional, you have to be worrying about their crying and their, hurt. And so as the years went by, I remember a great thing happened. When I say a great thing happened, I finally found that person, and that was the father of my children. So I finally found that person that made me realize that this is how sex needed to have been. From day one, this is what it was. So out of that came 3 children. And so, unfortunately, this was a married man. And so there's some transference there. You're not used to having anything of your own, or you didn't think you were good enough. So this was good enough for me, I thought at the time. perhaps I heard that there was a point where, he was going to leave the wife. And when you're young, you don't know that. You're 24 at the time. And so, you became a mother to the kids. I remember at that point, religion came into it too, became a Christian. So what I started doing was just forgiving. I looked and I said to myself, look how I hurt another woman by going inside of her marriage. So what happened was I started to forgive. There was an overture made the year before my kids were born. He called me and said that we can go for a drink. I thought he meant me and my mother. So he said, no, just you. Me and you can go for a drink. So I realized this man is not going to ever stop. So when I became pregnant, I stopped talking to them, to him rather. And then
hold on. When he invited you out for the drink, what you were pregnant?
It was my 24th birthday. No, I wasn't pregnant.
Oh, you weren't. Okay.
And I told him that not only anything from you, I have somebody in my life now that is doing everything for me. I don't need anything from you. Kind of like saying things like to hurt also. But the main point I want to make is that because I have now hurt somebody else as far as being in someone else's marriage, I felt it was important for me now. And like I said, Christianity, I went around on a forgiveness train. I went around and I said, let me forgive him. Mm-hmm. I've never heard the words, I'm sorry. But I said, let me forgive. This was fine with my mother. This was fine with everybody, as far as two sisters of his that found out about it through my mother. Mm-hmm. And, as the years go by, these things, it's such a long story, but these things went on as far as the forgiveness streak and whatnot have you. Mm-hmm. Up until a few years ago, about 5 years ago or 6 years ago, something happened in the family and we're talking. We had been doing Christmases, 4th of July, holidays together. And I always wonder to myself, how am I going to ever tell my kids this without painting a bad picture of grandpa? Because this is something that you live with, you grow, and like I said, about 6 years ago, I was trying to be a mediator in the family. Mm. And I said, you're blaming my mother for so and so and so and so. But look what you did to her. What do you mean I'm going to do to her? I said, but she forgave you for what you did to me.
Mm-hmm.
No.
And what was his response?
Oh, no. That was consensual.
Are you kidding me? That him say?
No, I'm not kidding you. And this is why it was important for him to get me to go to that hotel. Because you know why? You see why, Raga. This is why it was important. Because when the dialogue had to be told, it was like it was consensual.
No, but what would be what's gonna be sad with that, because somebody are gonna listen to that and say, so hold on, she go to the hotel, she off her own volition, she get up and she utilize the means for go to the hotel and then go do that with him and whatever, this and that. They would end up blaming you there and without understanding how you were groomed from you were a little girl.
The same volition that would probably understand why people go out and murder people on hire, or you know what I'm trying to say? Mm-hmm. It's the same volition that somebody can encourage someone. You remember Long Island Lolita when she said that it's because they didn't bother the man why she emboldened herself to go down there and shoot the man's wife in the face. That was many years ago in Long Island.
Yeah, I remember.
It's the same. Yeah. When people have you in that certain way, they can, first of all, it is my thinking that when you're being sexually molested or abused, these predators have to hit you on an accord with them. It has to be more than just a physical thing. It has to be a mind game. Exactly.
Exactly. And what I'm saying, but the mind game was, from you what 10, 12, 11, 12, 13 year old and them think that he must set that thing there, so anybody who I got judge about the hotel thing, how many years later, they would be decontextualizing all of that psychological exploitation and predation that you have been experiencing from a child, from an impressionable age as a child.
We lived back in Jamaica when I was a young girl coming up. And I remember my mother, one day, my mother used to keep slap book. And as I picked me going to one room we stay now. So I used to go in the drawer them and see things, so she tried to hide them. And I remember one night he was over the house and he's like, you ever seen anything in your mother drawer yet? And he just run and pick me and show him them. And I remember how he was looking at those books with me as if to make me know that this is okay. This is okay.
Oh my God. So, he knew exactly what he was doing.
The thing about it is that...
Because him knows about them then, so I beat him as a little picnic. So yeah, your mother John, what I know you go there now and then now. So you and him now are sharing other space there. Basically consuming sexual content, from the book them and whatever. So that was his little initiation and thing. Normalizing the exchange of that type of content between him and you. From your little picnic?
Over the years, it's like, it's amazing where people, and then, like you said before, you giving me credit for, being fluent and speaking. When I came here, I started writing in diaries. It is not until many years later, when I'm sitting down, even talking to my daughter, things would occur to me. I used to wonder, how come all the time when they go to a grocery store, how come nobody ever look for me yet? How come when we go to a Jamaican store, go buy meat? Because we got the American one per Saturday, right? You're 15, what have you, and we got a Jamaican store. Then look on all the Jamaican man them used to in there. How come nobody ever called to me yet? And what have you? And one day my daughter and we were talking about it. And I was saying to her how every Saturday he used to grab me to go to the grocery store. And maybe sometimes my little sister. But it was just me mainly and him would be going. And we hit the nail on the head. And she says, yes, because you know how you talk for your age. 1 second. I'm sorry, 1 second.
Mm-hmm.
You know how you talk for your age.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine, things that you and your stepfather are out grocery shopping. You know what that look like to people? To those boys and any man we see you? It look like you and your man come a shop. And I can only imagine the behind the scenes to my mother. Yes, I can learn to go grocery store, I learn to shop and the things. But I would be the one that had to go to the grocery store with him. So we go to the grocery store. We're in that we're shopping together. We're buying groceries together. No wonder nobody never look at you.
Right.
Because they simply thought that here it is, you're coming there with your man. Because, black people, but then I really look out.
Right now, really, whatever this. But tell me something, like, given what you have gone through, right? And what this awful man in the recording that, in terms of the reason why I play the recording, and if you don't mind me saying that, I think you have, not for good reasons, but you have some insight in this thing that, what could you share with, like, say, parents to say, in general, these are some of the things, we don't want people to be paranoid or be obsessed and then start seeing things where there's nothing there and whatever, because, unfortunately, that is an outgrowth of, when people have these experiences and things. But to the extent that you could give parents some advice, not only women but men too, like what could they look for, and to say, be careful if you see so and so. It doesn't mean anything, but you may want to check in and kind of ask or pay attention if you see so and so. Is there anything you could share with us in that regard?
Maybe a couple of things.
Mm-hmm.
Don't be so trusting, number one. is a stepchild. So you figure say, is not the man child. So Jesus, him such a good man because him treat her just like him daughter to your eyes. She forgot doctor, and I aim that. And look a thing, I aim that. Don't be so trusting. Another thing that I think greatly happened in that house, it wasn't like this was a comfortable woman as far as my mother is concerned. It's not like she had any problems and you're saying this woman just go to work and, how could she ever know? No, he would be giving her her entire hell herself. She also was going through her own problems with him. And it is my theory that this was important for him to do because it took away the attention that she should have had with, to our kids. So he was over there giving her hell in their own adulthood, doing whatever, woman or what have you. And so I remember at one point she was pregnant and had a miscarriage, and he was putting her through it because he didn't want her to have the baby. So it was like a whole lot of stress. And I remember when she took up and was going to Jamaica, and I remember she was so burned out at that point. It was her first trip back home since we had gotten here. And I remember seeing her on the staircase going down the stairs. And I was crying because it was 2 weeks I would be in that house with that man. 2 weeks she was gone for. And this woman is gone in Jamaica. And you're thinking, yeah, my husband, the home with the kids, them. No, that's a young girl. That is not theme picnic. I know in this case of this tape, that's his daughter, but it's just too much trusting. Allow yourself to even have a little bit of mistrust. Especially, this is not, no, this man had a history with you. He used to talk to your friend, get physical with you. This was no angel. So it's like, if you're seeing this on
so hold on. So him used to draw for your mother friend them. He used to involve with your mother.
Of course.
Yes. and he was physical with her and them something there and thing.
Yeah.
And then she a go through fear, stress, and thing and whatever and re. She now I get a escape from him and I go Jamaica for 2 weeks. But I left you with him.
Leave you with the problem. You understand?
And how old were you at that time?
I don't know, maybe about 15 or so.
Wow. So I want to know, listen what she's saying. I want to know, because what she's saying is that this man was so manipulative and thing and whatever that the mother end up in that space the way he must stress her out, that she became so engrossed and so preoccupied with her adult stressing out thing where she are going with him that she don't even have time to pay attention to her children, her daughter, her 15-year-old daughter at that time, because who for tell if the stressing out and thing and whatever this and that, if he was deliberately designing it, for she want to escape and say, all right, go on to Jamaica if you want. Instead of money, go on to Jamaica so that him can get access to the data. But the point she's saying is that...
That's not so.
You see, that's what she's saying is that be careful if you're in a certain situation where you get so engrossed with a problem right in front of you that you stop pay attention to some other critical problem or something where they could be distracting you. Because these manipulators, these predators, some of them very good like that. They know how to distract you. They know how to distract you and make you not pay attention upon what you need to pay attention upon. Right? Because on some level, fear mother must have been like her that give her like, she don't even need to worry about the pitting of them. When are the pitting of them, she really need to worry about because the pitting of them was the target. She was the target.
This My man God. Was in the living room when we're watching TV, and he used to, sit down kind of like with his ankles crossed, his legs crossed the ankle. And then he started making this rubbing sound. And it would be mostly like if he and I were there watching TV, or even my little sister, she's a little girl, and he would make this rubbing cricket sound with his feet. And I remember it used to grate on my nerves. And I would one day I said to him, can you stop doing that? What it remind you of? and it almost had a sexual connotation to it. It's like when he was rubbing his and making that sound, it had like a little, I don't know how to describe it, but it was grating on my nerves. Like, it kind of reminded me of, like, you know, sounds that people make. And after that, I said,
when it says sounds that people make, what you mean? I know you
do. Like when they're engaged in sex, you know, like when they're making sounds. Right. And it had that little sound or what have you. Mm-hmm. And I remember saying to him, just, you know, what could you stop doing that? He wouldn't stop.
My God, this man was just like manipulating even on a subliminal level, you know, on an unconscious level. With them look at something that he knew exactly what he was doing.
The reason why.
And what him say to you, what him say, what it sound like, and him say it in a kind of a sexual kind of flirty sound. We him ask, you know.
So what it sound like to you, and I just dismiss it. Mm-hmm. But he knew exactly what I was thinking. I want to make it crystal clear. And I'm not going to do anything now to change anybody listening, you know, or what have you. I'm not reading any comments to see any snide comments or what have you. I'm speaking clearly. Do not underestimate these people. This thing is bigger than you think it is. When these people want something, they're going to get it by any means. You understand? And the trick is to start early, to do early. And then you're talking about even to encourage someone else to even think, why, you know, even think that way. It's like, it's amazing. Mm-hmm. I remember my mother over the years was telling the story to her sister who came to visit from England. And we were at dinner. I took my auntie to dinner with two of my kids. And she was saying to me that she understands things happen and God can forgive us in life. And someone said, really, so? And she made mention, I won't use the child's name, but she made mention and say, for example, you know, same thing Patsy did do to my husband, because maybe she angry at me because I didn't raise her. And I walk in and I saw Patsy with my husband, and God can forgive you. So I said, well, look at this. Auntie what I talk about? And she said, your mother told me that look at something had gone on with you and him. I said, really? And in front of my kids, I gave my auntie a dissertation from soup to nuts of exactly everything. Mm-hmm. I want to say over the years, for whatever her reasons, she's still with him. Nothing has changed.
Your mother is still with him?
Still with him. Nothing has changed.
Wow.
And as far as I'm concerned...
But hold on. What you were saying about... I'm sorry, say that again?
To even tell the story incorrectly to family.
Yeah.
She will do that even to protect him at this point. Because I'm telling you, my auntie was telling me I should forgive myself because it seems that something had happened like that to her daughter Patsy. And her husband.
So hold on now. So are you do something wrong now, you know? So the auntie will do it, you know. Not only the auntie I say you do something wrong, the auntie I say fear daughter. They do something wrong too with fear husband, and then we're gonna forgive the daughter because the daughter do something wrong and evil right there. So we can't forgive you too. Wow.
The daughter at that point, when the daughter had done with her husband, the daughter was an older woman that came from Jamaica. I guess the husband they attractive enough, I don't know. And things happen. But the spin that was given, like I the same thing Patsy did do like what you do. So I said no. Yeah, Patsy never did the same thing.
Patsy was a big man who could take her mother man who wasn't her father, right?
Yeah, Patsy wasn't the same.
Right, and you were a little child, you were a little girl and thing who were groomed up into this thing and okay.
My auntie looked at me in shock like, I never know this. I said yes.
Which mean your mother tell her in a way to make you look bad?
Precisely.
Oh my God.
Because they're still together. They're still together. And
But you see,
like I said,
she's in a position now, you know. Hold on, she's in a position now. You go put it out there now, you know. So what usually comes up here is like, so when the mother heard, what did she do? Now, your mother stayed in the situation, right? When you first told your mother, her first remark was from you was like, why am do this to me, the mother, which wasn't even any reference to you and thing. And so she's in a position now where, you know, people are going to say, so now you find out this about him and you're still there with him. So whatever reason why she want to stay with him and thing, she know have to spin the story in a way where there is some justification for her staying with him, which means either directly or indirectly demonizing you, the victim.
Exactly. And of course, it's easy to latch on to the story of the 19 and the hotel, because that's what they're going to latch on to. But you did go over there. Same way, I'm going to tell them, I'm going to enlist and kill you too.
Then hold on. Then when them say you did go over there, them still, the people them who here say you did go over the hotel when you're 90. Them not hear about what did go on when you're 13.
No, that was not told to her. In this particular case, my auntie. No, when she was talking to me, we were at dinner, and she's telling me that God can forgive me because I see him so they do. Right. So she didn't have any history of what was going on.
So when you tell her the details, no, she was just shocked. No, like, well, I never get them receipt there, don't it?
Exactly.
Wow.
It wasn't until after, you know, years will pass by, and like I said, you know, when you're on this whole thing of that you have done wrong, I was going through a time when, as a Christian, you know, you just feel like you're evil. You feel like you did some things. It was with this married man, things happen, and you wrecked a family. So if I did that, then I should be able to forgive. So the whole thing was about forgiving family, moving on, and living. You know what broke the spell? That conversation about the consensual. So I'm asking, what you said a while ago? He repeated it. And it's at that point I started just belching out and just cussing. And we have not spoken since. And I have broken away from the family. It has been many years since.
How long ago was that conversation? About
6 years ago.
6 years ago.
It broke up our family because my kids and I are separate from them. As in, there were no more Christmas dinners, 4th of July, Thanksgiving, because I've broken away entirely. And then I told my children, at the time they were teenagers, I told them everything. And so we talk about it sometimes, about little things will happen that you insert peace into a conversation. But me, I'm all about enlightening people now and telling people that the hurt is not there. Of course it is. One of the most hurtful things is this person to me was not just a stepfather. He was my father. He was somebody that I adore and love. You know, and it's like what really hurt for me is after all the forgiveness and, you know, making nice and living with the family and everything, not even a simple sorry you could say. And to see how evil you were to come up with this little story about how it was consensual, it really made me see the true evil.
Germ.
And so it's like there's no forgiveness, there's no coming back. You forgive and what have you, but I have no interest of being with family because of it. The way I see it, was just 10 of us in the family, and I feel like it's split.
Right.
My 4 and 6 over there. So it's like, you know, it's like that. But
tell me,
it does feel good.
Tell me, and I solemnly swear this is the last one. And I'm here like, you know, and I appreciate you. But one of the things that you touched on this earlier, and I want the listeners to kind of understand this aspect of it, and before I ask her, listeners, be careful when you're listening these type of stuff, because there can be that thing where you're hearing this thing and then you start to remember a bunch of things will fit neatly into what you're hearing now. And yeah, I said, then I said so and so on when nothing no go so. So I I want you all to be careful that when you're listening what's going on, learn from it, arm yourself with it, and make the necessary adjustments to, particularly when you're protecting your children. But be careful that you don't think that everything you're hearing, you have an example of it, okay? Because sometimes the mind can, these little things can come about. Earlier you had said that you had seen a connection between his predation and his sexual assault, and that's what it was, sexual abuse. And even though he did it in a so-called, what some people would say in a non-aggressive, passive way, it was still sexual assault, it was still sexual abuse. At a tender age, you were a little girl, and you have said that you're seeing a connection between that and later on where, and like you did a while out all over the place, but you saw where it contributed to a sort of promiscuity in you for a while, and for I want people to know that unfortunately, this is a very common result of women who have been abused in this way, and what it is that even though they've been abused and even though the experiences they never liked it and so forth, even though they knew that something was wrong about it, it was simultaneously the way they were being validated and valued. It was simultaneously communicated to them as females in this instance that this is what you need to be. You need to be the sexual being to be, to be valued as a woman, by men. And so whether subconsciously, unconsciously, or just overtly, it is not uncommon for women who have been, abused in this way, particularly, slowly and meticulously groomed in this way, to be what, therapists would say, very nonchalant about sex, and sex is either unimportant, it's not that big a deal, and it's like, okay, just do it, or if that's what you want, do it, or it's a big deal in terms of their definition of themselves. Like, so women, their definition of themselves, it's primarily about their sex and things. So I just wonder if you could share with us, could elaborate a little bit on that, like how that was operationalized in your case, so that people could better understand some of that.
Very good question. Now I know I could actually do a TED Talk.
You could. Oh, you could. I'm telling you, you could. Yeah.
I really could.
Yeah.
I used to, when I took a women's studies class, I realized I did a lot of TED Talks. As far as listening, I said I could do this. But to answer your question, there is maybe three things that I don't want them to slip my mind. Mm-hmm. One time there was I like hair on the armpit, and I like hair on your personal area. To this day, I don't keep any of those things on my body. Mm. Another instance was, like I said in the early part, as far as...
Hold on. He told you that he liked hair on your armpit?
Yes.
And like hair on your personal area?
On pubic areas.
Oh, that was it? So that was like a thing with him?
Mm-hmm. So what I did now, as a rebellion, I discovered the shaver. Mm-hmm. So I would purposely shave every hair on my body. Mm-hmm. Hopefully, maybe that was a deterrent, but it wasn't. Mm-hmm. And almost like a sick way. I don't know. Maybe that even more look like young flesh. No. Mm-hmm. So right. Yeah. So another incident was, one night after doing oral on me, he said to me, why don't you do me too? why don't you do me too? Do you like how I do you? I said, really? And I clearly recall I was 16. And we were supposed to go on a family trip after that. So here it is that you said that to me. And that's in my head now. So the alarm bells went on. And I'm like, I can't do that, whatever. So we had a family trip coming up, his family. And that's also another thing, kept us from our side of the family completely. Didn't really want us to be around our side of the family. It was mostly his family who were always around. So we had to plan this trip to go to New York. His parents came in from Jamaica, and he went there to see them. And while I was there, a young man that used to go to Jamaica College was in the house that I used to know from back in the day, He was older than I am, and me I look at first form, in my sixth form. So the moment I saw him, I already made up my mind what I was intending to do. And the opportunity came when we were alone, and I made sure that was my first oral experience for me, because I did not want you to take that from me. So I went and I did that. It was good that I was attracted to a young man, but because you had said that to me, that you think that this is what we should move to the next level and I should do that, I said, yeah, I don't think so. In my mind, I'm going to beat you to it. So even if you force me,
right?
Which thank God I never had to, but you had said it, so I'm going to skip ahead and make sure you don't take that from me too.
Right, because he had already taken away so many firsts from you, and that he was going to take away another first from you, and not wanting him to do that. You make sure you rush in and go do that first when you talk to this young man. No, and the funny thing now, this young man, me say, me just start talk to her and she just go so boom and grab it and deal with it and thing and whatever. And he go start judge you now and don't even know what you are going to make you go do that.
No.
Look at that. Look at that.
You don't even know that there was a motive behind it. There was a motivation behind it.
Wow.
Because all in my mind, time is running out for me. Because you already said it. First of all, everything else is happening, so why does that happen too? That's my thinking. First of all, you made everything else happen, so this is just par for the course. This is another step. This is another step.
Yeah, and interesting you say that, because one of the things where young ladies who have gone through this, and you used a metaphor to refer to it earlier. And it's one of, counselors understand it and things like that, but sometimes other people don't understand it. It's the whole replacement thing, right? It's like they're going through these experiences that they don't like, that are sexual. And a lot of females in that position, their coping mechanism is to have counter experiences that they chose to be in and that they chose to enjoy and so forth. So the more this thing is going on that side, it's kind of like the more you get a headache, the more you take the Tylenol. But the Tylenol is sex, right? And sometimes the headache, sometimes the person don't even have to do it, Sometimes it's just the memory of it in your head, and then this whole thing you have to keep on and try to replace that memory, because once they're engaging in sex continuously, they don't have to think about this unpleasant sexual abuse that they have and thing. And sometimes that can be a little bit difficult, even for women who have gone through that, to understand about themselves. So this is why you're doing it. This is your fix, and perhaps you need to understand that a little more, and to deal with the problem differently, because if you deal with the problem differently, then you won't have to be engaging in this other thing that you came up with to counter that problem, to replace that problem, because what you come up with is non-stop sex over here, so with whoever, whomever, whatever, which is also causing its share of problems over there.
Earlier in the conversation, I said to you, and you corrected me, it's not a betrayal because your body did, responded the way it had to. And we're talking about orally. And I told you I read that little Harlequin romance. And then it occurred to me that if I, slow down myself as far as, put my mind in gear. So it came a point where I remember while he was engaged in doing so, I never had an orgasm again. I used to will myself to stop. It became such a turn off for him that he would stop doing it. Because I used to lie there like a stone, and I would stop. I had to go into some kind of, I remember one point it was the alphabet, counting, because it really, in the book it worked. And I tried it.
Right.
And I did. But here is the drawback to that.
Well, that was you taking over your mind, consciously controlling your mind and taking over your mind and not letting his, right.
And like you, the funny thing about reading, like you always say, I was an avaricious reader, just ferocious.
Right.
And so to come across something like that, it was powerful for me. It was a gift.
That you could exert that control over your mind. Yeah.
Exactly.
And by exerting that control over your mind, you're also controlling your body in that regard, in terms of whatever external stimuli was coming to your body, which before, elicited an automatic response that you characterized as a betrayal of your body in terms of, let's be, because you're saying it felt good and you don't want it to feel good because you don't want it to be doing with this guy or whatever. You'd be surprised, the women who have been raped, and at some point they're like, they feel like, there was some sort of pleasure there, but they were raped and they struggle with it and then we as therapists have to say, listen, you were still raped. They're rapists who use weaponize that and say, no, but she was telling me she did a wind up and this or that, whatever, and thing. And it's like
on that many times.
Exactly. And it was still rape.
True.
And him still violate or whatever, and the body going to respond. And you know what is funny? When the body does that, it's people say it's the mind or whatever, but if you want pee-pee, you want pee-pee. You understand? So when the body does that, in a weird way, that's the body's way of protecting the person, Yeah, if you understand, if a woman is being raped, and I don't want to get too graphic for people, but if a woman is being raped and the body lubricates that, it's protecting the woman. That's the body saying this friction and this aggression here or whatever this, and we need to, to facilitate. What I say? So, there are different ways. So people need to understand these things, and this will lessen the guilt some people would feel, and the inclination to think that, somehow, their body betrayed them or their mind betrayed them or whatever. It was still wrong what he did. No matter what the impact was on it, it was still wrong what he did.
My daughter and I had a discussion about that the other day. If you're in a situation, there is no way out. You got caught somewhere, I don't know, a hotel room, the man is going to rape you. You want to struggle? You want to fight? Of course you're going to fight. But I'm talking about you're there. After all the struggle and fight, it's going to happen. She asked me, should she struggle, or is it wrong for the woman to struggle or to stop? And I'm thinking to myself, it's two things going on in your head, because you're going to say to yourself, if you stop, that means you're in conjunction with this thing. But if you fight, it's okay. Fight and potentially if you get stabbed or killed.
And killed. Right. It's a
remember what you always say, Professor, do like the slaves and survive.
Right.
It's not everybody can jump ship. It's not everybody can rebel and fight. So some of us had to stay and tell the story. You understand? And so it can be a lesson for others. It's not every time, if I did me, the old Jamaican saying, if I did me, What would I do? Would I karate chop him? Would I go on the most weird thing?
And I don't want anybody misunderstand what she's saying, you know. She's not condoning anything,
Right.
you know. She's not. She's just saying that there's certain situations where, for example, rape is about power, you know. I know people focus on the sex, but it's about the man having this woman in fear and thing and whatever and exerting power and whatever. And a great many women in that position have said that if they reach a point of inevitability, then the equation changes where it becomes, I have to get out of this alive. And the way to get out of this alive is to make him think he has won.
Yeah.
Because doing this other thing and whatever, it may result in him actually end up like saying, well, if this now gonna happen, then I'm gonna kill you. So it's a disturbing choice, and it is one where on either side, you know, we could engage in some sort of debate, but and you don't want anybody in that position. But if you hear a woman say something along those lines, you want to be careful that you don't, you know, interpret it like, so what then? Should I give in or should I encourage it or whatever? Because the calculations could have been very different, you know, with respect to her doing what she thinks she needs to do in that particular situation to make sure that when it finishes, she's alive. Right.
You're absolutely correct on that. And I wanted to finish real quickly. You asked me about another instance where transferred. Because that trick had worked so well, of course, with the mind trick and, you know, not having an orgasm or what have you. Years later, went off my own free will, and I was with a person, and that was happening. If I didn't think porn, then I could not reach any level of orgasm.
Wow.
Again, I will let the Lord judge me. But I will always say, and I tell my children.
No, hold on. So hold on. We want you to understand. So you're saying because of you had developed that cognitive, I don't want to use too much big word, that mind thing there now to like shut down your body psychologically.
Exactly.
Where, you know, him can't see nothing, say the impact with him upon you is any form of pleasure, I'm good like that or whatever. And it was such a turn. So you had developed that thing in your mind and thing, and correct me if I'm wrong. Are you saying that had gone over now into, you know, when you're in a space now with somebody who you want to be with, who is your person and thing like that, that it was adversely impacting that intimacy to the point where you had to, you have to come up with some counter. Yeah. Or say you couldn't have an orgasm then. It's shut down.
Absolutely not. Absolutely could not.
So after training yourself not to have an orgasm with your predator, your sexual abuser, that became so permanent in your unconscious in terms of whenever sexual activity was occurring and whatever, the shutdown thing is almost, it's initiated automatically, that you couldn't have an orgasm with the person who you were with, that you have to be thinking some pornographic thing now for kind of push your body back in that space, you know, where you start enjoy it like that again.
So it wouldn't even
people like see the connection between the abuse and the relationship later, because she could have a fair partner and the partner said, but you don't even into me or you don't even enjoy me or whatever, or you know, whatever, you know, and I saw them things that cause problem in a people relationship later on.
Like I said, I credit the father of my children.
Yeah.
It wasn't the most perfect situation, but you know, we have to all get our own judgment. And I tell my children,
was he understanding and patient and thing with stuff like that? No.
When I say understanding and patient, we don't get into that really. Okay. You know, I didn't get into that because we're not together still.
Right.
But I'm talking about what that person did for me, the attraction that I had to the person, the being with that person, the physicality of being with that person, it reversed things from when I said reverse, you can never forget what happened. But I have 3 children that I can look now and I can say, yes, the act of being with that person to produce you all I had fun in doing this, and I make no bounds about telling them that. Because I'm very honest in saying that to them. You know, yes, it wasn't, you know, Casablanca or what have you, but it was that I had children with someone that I wanted to. And for me, it was that was the most important thing. That was everything to me. One of the fears I had was, you know, what if I came up pregnant? You know, I knew there's something that you couldn't come back from. And, you know, there was a protection from the Lord, I would definitely think, because it's not everything your mind can work with. I had already worked with so much that one right there would have probably been the end all be all. And so when that did not happen, you know, thank God. So when I became a mother, not even before the whole motherhood thing, the physicality of being with their father, illicit as it was, that did a lot for me. That made me appreciate certain things. And when I'm blocked, I'm talking to the facts right now. First time I'm ever saying it. You can laugh all you want. After about 2 years of having a set of twins and a daughter, you know, it ended. And in order to prove to, you know, I remember my girlfriend used to always say, you're thinking about him, so you're not moving on with your life. So there was one incident after that, and I found it totally devoid of feelings, thoughts, everything. You know, no feeling. So what I did after that was I shut down. I stopped. And it's been many years since. My daughter is, 25? And it's been 23 years.
23 years.
That's exactly what I said. And Trina growing on my face. What's one of the things I tell myself?
No. But you say, you know, what I'm saying is you went through that with your abuser, and then you had the experience of this man where, like you say, it wasn't perfect, but it was the experience with him that made you know that, you know, there is an alternative, right? And that you're normal and you're okay, and you're growing from that, you know, from the abuse. And then they said when things was finished with him, you had a experience with somebody else, and that was a good. And then from that no good thing or whatever. So for 23 years now or whatever. But you see where, but you see where your predators abuse now. The connection to that now, where 23 years, you're like, I don't even want any intimacy from any man right now. You see the connection?
I don't think.
Right, wow.
And if it's not something on a deep personal level, on a love level, a marital level, forget it. And it just, one of the things it does is proves to me that, you see, this is how you could have been if you had gotten a choice. This is how you would have been. You're not pressed for anything. It proves that, yes, you weren't some, you know, young girl that was hot to trot. You were a young girl. This happened to you because you have control. It's other people who didn't have control. You know,
right.
Society, and you talk about society also. You're talking about one afternoon I was at church, at a Sunday church, and I just found the Lord, and I was just going to church. And I remember it was a little youth fellowship in the evening. And so this guy was there, and he was like, yes, young men, you know, make sure, you know, how much do you want a used car? When you go to a car lot and you're buying a car, don't nobody want a car that is used? And I sat there like, wow.
Well, he said that?
Yeah, those things also, because you already feel like...
Hold on. He said it in reference to something you shared with him?
He was just telling a story to young men out there that when they're selecting a wife, that they should look for someone, you know, wholesome, and be careful because you wouldn't want a used car. Okay. And I'm like, look at this mess. You're telling me these young
and just hearing him say that and thing, this is just somebody at youth fellowship, a young man, but hearing him say that and thing, your experiences right now, you start understanding that in your experiences and you never feel good about yourself, right?
Of course, because again, they don't know why.
Right. They don't
know why your car used. They don't know why you have Chris off at the showroom.
Yeah, but I mean, that's a young boy a chat foolishness and thing. But
I'm talking about that young boy.
No, but the point is, it was very meaningful for you based on what you had gone through, you know?
Exactly. But I'm just showing you how society also, the things that they say without even being aware.
Right. Indeed.
Exactly. So
Indeed.
it's so funny how, suppose you have to even think that you're going to brave enough one day to tell sister so-and-so. Our community in Jamaica, we have a far way to go in our community in Jamaica to come to a level where we can still, and they must just, people just, unless it's a little girl or a little boy, they let me start on the boys. I don't even know the hell that they are going through. But I know for little girls, there's not somebody little 5 and 6 and she look a bit, so you can say, oh God, nobody don't rate. When you're a teenager and something happens, you can't come out of primary school. These predators start from primary school. And you're in high school now, like the girl on the tape. You know, she didn't want it, or you see it there?
Right.
Yeah, but unless it's a little girl, you know, our community is not ready to hear things like these.
No, not only that, they're just not equipped. They don't know how to address it for the most part, you know, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But listen, I want to thank you wholeheartedly. I mean, I want to thank you for. I want to share. That's an understatement. I want to thank you for. Oh, hold on, this thing I keep on doing its thing. Okay, I want. Yeah, I want to thank you for being so candid. Right, I want to thank you for being so.
Brought this topic up many a time.
Right, and I also want to assure you that this is one of those topics where a lot of people, particularly women, benefit in silence. I mean, for unpleasant reasons, but unfortunately, a great many women have gone through some sort of, unfortunately, some sort of event similar to what you have gone through. And in listening to you, and you're very articulate, and you know, you see connections, and you know how to deconstruct stuff and whatever. So a listener, somebody listening to you, and you speak in ways where that it's accessible, you know, where people can understand. Because some people talk about stuff and it's not accessible. I also want to share with you, like you say, you could do a TED Talk. I want you to know that you have the capacity, you have the skill that it's really not a skill. It's just how you steer, but it's a skill. But you have the skill to be authentic with, you know, something that is complex and something that people, even at times when you gingerly touch on something and you use, you know, carefully crafted words to refer to some things that you're still uncomfortable with, you still come over with a genuineness and honesty, you know, that a listener is just engaged and enthralled, and you know, you probably don't know it because you just do it natural, but you know how to communicate feelings. Some people will talk about stuff in a kind of academic way, and the emotional truth is not there. With you, the emotional truth is there, but it's also accompanied with a very sober, rational analysis, you know, and it just blends together harmoniously and thing. And you know, a lot of times when women talk about this, it can be very, understandably, very emotional, and then your inclination is to be empathetic and compassionate and to be supportive. You know, you articulate and you elucidate, you explain and you elaborate and thing and make you understand things, but it's still done in a way where you're telling the story. You know, and I want you to know you have an amazing ability for that. And you have some people who can tell the story, but once they're asked questions, they can't connect. But they can't come with the story and tell the story. I'll ask you questions and your responses are on point and they're still meaningful and whatever. What am I getting at? if you ever are, if you're ever thinking about doing something in this regard, in my opinion, and I wouldn't be surprised if, a great many listeners think the same too, you are amazingly equipped to do this efficiently and effectively. And, it is a subject that is relevant, not only for members of our community, but it's one of those things that sadly women go through in different multiple societies, different regions of the world and so forth. So if you're ever thinking of going into that, I want you to know that I could see you just being a powerhouse in terms of helping people and facilitating others with the coping mechanisms to deal with these things, because I know for a fact, I've been doing this for a while, I know there are women who listen to your story and there are parts of it that they're like, wow, and they're thinking about stuff and really appreciate what you shared today. So I want to thank you for that. Right, I want to thank you for the depth of what you're going through, and I know you're putting yourself out there, and your honesty. You were very honest. You were very honest. I think so. I want to thank you for that.
Thank you, sir.
All right.
I appreciate it.
You're
Thank you.
Blessings, man.
Have a good one.
Yeah, good.
Bye bye.
And people, I know a lot of you are calling and so forth. In this thing that I do, most of the time it's fun, as many of you know. And many of you have heard this, what I'm about to say before. But there are times when people call, and based on my experience in this, I have to be there for that person. And in being there for that person, yes, it is also meaningful for the show. But sometimes being there for that person, it's about the person too. The priority is the person. And I don't know if you recall when she started, she said something to the effect that she's been listening to me for years, because she could make references to things that I say or whatever. And she has never called. She has never called. And the audio that I played from, this terrible, disgusting man in Jamaica trying to, force his daughter to engage in sexual relations to him. And I gave my preamble and I gave my warning about the trigger effect it will have and so forth, that it could potentially have, or whatever. Because, unfortunately, this thing is quite common out there. And he heard her. She said that when she heard that, the way the man was going on, it prompted her to call. Now, she calling and sharing, part of that sharing is a cathartic exercise. Like, it's like she just feel it. She just feel like she have to talk. And when women are in that space, it's a way of reaching out, and you heard her, she's sharing and she wanted to be helpful, but she's also helping herself. And in helping herself, in talking about this and so forth, men, you hear women say this all the time, like, I just wanted to talk about it. I just wanted somebody, I want to talk about it. I'm going to feel better now, right? You hear women say that all the time. That's exactly it. If they could talk to somebody about something inside of them that is poignant and pervasive and it's just there and it's inescapable and they have to deal with it. And in talking to somebody who is non-judgmental, so no woman is going to talk to me about something like that if they think I'm going to be judging them and things. That's one. Two, empathetic. That is important. Once you're dealing with these things, you have to be an empath, right? Empathetic, right? In a way where the dialogue can be empowering for her too, in terms of the questions I'll ask her and whatever. She needs to know that I'm there from the question. She needs to know that I'm there with what she's sharing. She needs to know that when I ask a question or so on, thing like that, it can make her think about something else, and in having to explain it, she can better understand something too and whatever. I saw them things that go, what am I getting at? Of course, it's my call how long somebody stay on the phone. And there's a whole bunch of factors that go into that. And this was one instance where the call started. I didn't know where the call was going. So I had to make her lead. But as she was leading, I had to be determining what else and thing. And I think about you, the listeners too, and whatever, but she was priority. Right? She needed to hear some interpretations of some of the stuff that she said that, you know, that could help her to understand you did nothing wrong. Right? For example, when she said, you know, sometimes, you know, her body betrayed her. Right? And that was a way, you know, with people, you know, who were in this position and thing, when they're uncomfortable with something, you know, they phrase things that way. But the phrasing alone, you know, it demonstrates that, you know, there might be some discomfort there still. There might be some type of, sometimes women in this position, they, you know, they feel guilt, you know. So, but, you know, but I went, you know, and I had an orgasm and, you know, my body betrayed me and so forth. So she needed to hear, for example, that example, a response from me, you know, that credibly explain, you did nothing wrong. Your body responded in that situation. You're being manipulated psychologically. Your benefactor. People, there is very few things in this world that is more confusing than somebody who appears to show you a lot of love, and that is the same person abusing you. If somebody not like you and them abuse you, it's clear. Them not like me. Them not do nothing for me. Then you be bad things them say about me. It's just clear as day. You know, no problem I lie. Right? What confounds people and make people stay in unhealthy situations, for example, destructive situations, is when the abuser is also the benefactor, is also the person who, you know, who appear to be showing you love and whatever. And then it is difficult not to understand that love, you know, is just the setup to continue to abuse you and things like that. And that you know, that takes a toll on a lot of people, you know. And, you know, it puts people in position where, like, you know, the abuser come and say, you know, somebody do it because I love you and thing or whatever, you know. So that's why parents, you have to be careful when you beat your picnic them and I tell them, so you beat them because you love them. Don't phrase it that way. Right? You know, you're making why you love them, but you beat them because this is punishment for what you do. Don't say, me beat you because I love you. You know, like them look at something that them cause confusion for people. And then it become, you know, those type of principles, they get entrenched inside of you. They get legs, they get body, and they become solidified and get bigger in your life. And then, you know, you find them type of stuff that them grow and they mushroom up. And then people start validating, you know, people who are boxing at your face, and then I give you a little lemonade after. Which is them not supposed to box in your face. You understand? So that is why I allowed, she was a priority. And these things happen. That's how the show goes. My call. And I have a good idea what she got from sharing it, right? And in making her the priority. And she being so gifted in her communication. And so honest. So honest. That you, the viewer and the listeners, you end up benefiting from a great sharing. One thing though is that these type of things, they also, trigger memories in other people who also would want to share. And that is a call that, because, she called, she got in, so she was a priority, and I had to let the conversation go. I had to let the exchange go. But I also want other people to know that I am aware that when these things come up, often, most people, they process in silence, but there are others who would want the opportunity to share also, and that you may not have gotten that opportunity. And next Wednesday, next Friday, you may feel differently about it and things like that. But so I just ask your patience in that regard. For those of you who came in later, you didn't hear at the beginning of the show, but on a different subject now. If you see my mouth look twist and lean and whatever, I went to the doctor this morning and I have a thing called Bell's palsy. Bell's palsy. Bell apostrophe S. Pal. The next word is Palsy. And it's, well, again, most of you, Wednesday, it's Una make me know about it. I didn't know about it. And then when I went and checked it out, you guys were spot on. Some of you thought it was stroke. I'm happy to say it's not stroke. It's not a mild stroke. It's not any stroke. But like the doctor explained to me this morning, it's one of those things that many people confuse for a stroke. He did all his local tests and all these things. And essentially say, stroke, when stroke comes, it affects the entire side of your body. And if it was stroke, you would have been able to determine a weakness in the stroke side, the stroke hand from the other hand, all kind of things he did and whatever. And also said that because the Bell's palsy, it's localized, in this area. He said that is how it is, and what it is that it's a virus like a flu, but it freezes a nerve ending in your face, right? So I googled it and I put it up on the screen. So for those of you who want to watch back the show and things like that, you can't see it at the beginning, but I was getting a couple texts from people who were, 1 second call, I'm coming to you. So I was getting a couple texts about people who were saying, but Raga, you never got, caller, careful with the noise in iPhone. All right, so I was getting a couple texts from some people that said, Raga, you never got doctor. And what? Yes, I went to the doctor this morning. All right, I just couldn't never want to address it because I talk to the caller and things like that and whatever. And it's not serious. It's not something serious, but they say it takes 2 weeks to 6 months to go away. I got medication for it, some sort of steroid and thing, and it's not as common as stroke, but it's common. I just didn't know it was common. It's gonna make me know, say, people get it and thing like that. But so it make me more look like it twists, cause over that side they're dead, a side they're dead, so that one come out that way and thing like that. So, But I'm okay, I'm fine. Wanna just have to work with a twist mouth ragga for a while and thing and push the call me and beat me and pass all kind of comment about why my mouth twist and thing. Anyway, good afternoon, caller. What's up?
Good afternoon, sir.
How you do? How you do, Brittany?
Not bad. Me hear you did I say about kissing. Then this somebody no twist for them out and kiss you.
What you mean? Like how my mouth twist, I know them for twist for them out and kiss me. Okay.
And kiss you.
All right. If me get a kiss from a woman right now, me I say, baby, it's a twist kiss me want, you know. Me want a twist kiss. A twist kiss I do it right now. Mad.
Anyway, what me did call about, you see, me have to change my subject when me did want to talk to you about.
Yeah.
But anyway, this lady, the lady on the video, me did hear about it, you know, because somebody that call me and I tell me to listen it, but me say me can't really listen it.
Yeah.
I couldn't really listen it because sometimes those things this raga are very disturbing to me, you know.
Right.
Because reason being, let me tell you reason being. You know that I had to stop a 10-year-old girl from killing herself on 2 occasions.
Wow.
I don't know. Yes. 2 occasions I had to stop that girl from killing herself. That girl is in high school now. And when I the first time she tell me say she go kill herself, me never believe her.
Yeah.
Never believe her.
Yeah.
The second time she called me with a knife in her stomach, show me the knife that she going to put it in her stomach.
Mm-hmm.
I almost got an heart attack. I called somebody else and they almost got an heart attack too. Trying to find out what was the matter with this little girl because she said that she had her period at 8 years old. And she didn't want to talk what was the matter. She only say, Daddy not treat me good.
Mm-hmm.
She only depend, Daddy not treat me good, Daddy not treat me good. And we could not get it out of her. What was the matter? At one point, the child lock up herself in the house. I scrape up herself with knife and all them things there. Them had to go through the window to get the child out of the house. All her mind was to kill herself.
Mm-hmm.
So, me listening to this lady's story now, I say, I wonder if that was what was happening to that young girl, but she didn't want to tell us. Because we know the individual, we know the father and everybody. I think something was not meaning there with that girl. And she don't know if she afraid to talk. I don't know if she was threatened. I don't know what happened. But
no, a couple of things, and again, I don't know the details of this. I just go by what my experience said. One, most people who really go and kill themselves, they don't tell you, right? But most people who going through some serious trauma and use that and whatever, they're reaching out. It's a cry for help. And a young girl like that, saying all those things with knife and whatever, it sounded to me like she was indeed reaching out for help, in relation to some trauma. 2, you said when you ask her what was it and thing, is it that the one thing she said was what, Daddy what?
She said, Daddy not treat me good. Daddy not treat me good. Me not like how Daddy treat me.
It could be possible. It's possible that it could be something along those lines. At the same time, it could be a whole bunch of other, form of depression too and whatever. Them have a kind of fancy term for it. Electrocomplex, going through some trauma with the father being missing, or see the father with somebody else, or you have all kind of possibilities there. But yeah, it is possible that it could have been. That's why I'm saying, be careful when you listen to this, you don't quickly put everything in the sexual thing context, because you can have people experiencing forms of depression and engaging in certain extreme behavior, and it's not necessarily anything to do with sexual abuse or anything that, but it's possible. It's possible.
Yeah, I found it strange. I found it real strange at the time.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I really found it strange. And the other day, she passed my house and I said to me, say, what are we make me happy? Me didn't stop my lady from kill herself. Because look on her now. Look on her now.
You know, with that, you know, you'd have to find, you know, there are different ways to get people in that position to communicate. And most of them, you know, they're not going to communicate unless it's a safe space that they're communicating in. And but you're also right. Most of these predators, when them exploit these little girls, them always tell them something to instill fear in them, in a particularly, you know, what going to happen to them sister, what going to happen to them brother, what going to happen to them mother, and whatever. So they do that. You know, they do that. And so it is possible. It's possible.
Raga, what upset me about everything with this lady a while ago on the video and with this lady who talked to you a while ago.
Well, let's be clear. It was an audio that was posted. It's an audio. I don't want some people think that. Yes, yeah. Okay, yeah. Some of them what?
Some of them dirty mumaya. Dirty mumaya. Because a lot of time, you know, children tell them, you know, and you have some of the dirty one, then gonna ask the man. If I true, then man, people are going to tell you, say man do that, and you go ask the man if I true. The man are going to tell you, say I true.
Well, I understand what you say, but sometimes there have been many instances where people tell lie per man, you know, Brittany.
Me know that, but if my daughter can't tell me anything like that, Raga,
right.
me not expect for me husband to do that. I don't know him as that.
Right.
But if my daughter come and tell me any such thing, me not go ask him nothing.
No, but
me not go ask him nothing.
No, but what if you say you not expect him to do that? But you know what? Me go ask him for just to see how him react. But you understand, if him really do it, him not gonna tell you, you know. But you gotta just ask him just for say, all right, you see, if you ever travel, and you're going and say you're coming to America, sometimes the people them say, so how are you? So who you going to visit and things? So where you coming from, man? They are trained to ask those initial questions, not to get that specific answer, you know. Them just want to see how you react to being questioned. And if your reaction to just being asked some random question where them not care about the answer, because the answer that go prove nothing to them whether or not you're bandolo and whatever, them not care about the answer. But then now, if when you answer now, you go and look away and them say, oh, hold on, you know. Hey, no, man, this look like something else, man. And then now them start asking the real question them where them want real answer from. Right? So, in that situation there, some people may say, what? Your father say what? Your stepfather say what? All right. Me go ask him and thing and whatever. And you know, and it's like, so once I say you do something whatever and look right in here and see and respond. And how him respond and you may can discern something from that, you know?
Oh, I may hear you.
Yeah, but just so you know, picnic tell lie for man all the while. I know of several cases with it. Yeah.
Raga, lastly, one little girl, you know, she used to go to this man for lunch money. And some picnic say they see her, she take long. And when they see she come down from the yard, they see sperm run on her foot.
Oh my God.
Right? Yeah. On many occasions. Right? She said she tell her mother, and the mother go ask the man if it's true. The picnic they're pregnant, and the mother know, and the mother never say nothing. The mother no say nothing. And one neighbor the picnic talk to. So when they realize rather the picnic, the baby are almost 6 months. The baby are almost 6 months old. In the picnic belly, and the mama know. And just so she never want to left the man, because she said the man help her with the rest of the picnic then when she have. So she end up then still there with the man. So when people find out, she have to end up left him. Because people then would have killed him with lick.
And suppose me tell you, say a whole heap of time that same scenario they play out. Whole heap of time them put them subject the pitney them to them something because of where them I get from the man, the help where them I get from the man. I can't tell you how many times in Jamaica we come up on that situation, you know, when in the work that we're doing and whatever. Over and over and over again. Grandmother, I know a case of a grandmother in a St. Thomas and they picked me at 9. From the picnic at 9, the grandmother send the picnic because the mother they come foreign, you know. So the mother left the picnic with fear mother. And from the picnic at 9, the first time the man go there, the man couldn't even go in. You understand what I say, right? And then never stop till the man, she said the man go in when she had, must be 11, the man go in. She run away and thing and whatever, and the man go, because the man, let me be careful, the man is a powerful man, big name and thing. They don't want one security company, that's as much as I would say. Right? And the man go look for her as a little girl and find her and thing. And then someday, and the grandmother, when the man come up there, the grandmother would tell him, say, she in there, and the grandmother would stand up outside and watch. And she said she remember she see her grandmother looking through the window sometime when the man are doing thing. And would you believe, say the same grandmother will make she do that. You feel hear how she talk how her grandmother defend her otherwise and protect her and all them something there. So you can imagine the confusion. This was an adult woman, grown woman attack. I tell me this now, you know. This years ago, you know. Grown woman, no. I tell me this and I say, oh, you know, I said, but, you know, she call her grandmother and she said, no, but she did nice to me, you know. And treat me good and protect me and make sure she so and so and so. But it's the same grandmother we give her to the man who, by the way, did I do it to him, who won't pick me them too. Now, whatever, you understand? So, you have some people that go through some things out there in a silence and dance and whatever. And that particular scenario, man. One time in a star, you know, I forgot, I bet you some people remember. One woman, they up lock up she door. She hold on her 15-year-old daughter, you know. The daughter fight her and a beg her and I say, mommy, no. And she hold on the daughter. This come out in the report in a Star of Jamaica. And then report the deed to hold on the daughter and make a man where she have go do so upon the daughter, her 15-year-old daughter. Hold on the daughter. So yeah, some people are saying, you know, like, can a woman tender care cease towards the child she bear? Everybody hear that part there. You know, but them they know the other part, and them say, yes, she may forgetful be and throw the baby in the sea. And that is saying that don't believe so just because a mother or just because a so, you know, that automatic maternal protection is there. You know, there are women out there who, for expediency and for what they determine difficult choices in survival in terms of what they need from the men and thing, you know, they, you know, have made some unpleasant choices, you know, for their daughters.
No father couldn't ramp with me then we then. My father did 21 years now. I mean, I have nothing bad to say about him. Cause no daddy couldn't ramp with me then we there. Nor no stepfather can't ramp with me then we there. I must not be the first woman for you. You understand?
He must not be the first man for you.
Yeah, right, the first man for me. Right. No. Yeah, my daddy, stay as my daddy.
Correct.
Yes, so no man can ramp with me them way there. No man at all. When me hear it, man, it reminds me of more than one occasion. Right.
But
you know, also like, you know, Ragas, lastly, you know, say me that check out one herbal medicine for puss. Puss are my favorite, you know.
What, puss?
Yeah, the man. Yes, you see him like how some people love hear me. I saw me love hearing me, you know.
Puss a veteran in I thing, you know, man.
Yeah, me love your puss, man, may I tell you.
Puss a veteran in I thing. Yeah, I'm my president, the president of the eating meeting and thing and whatever. So.
Yeah, me love you, man. May I tell you, say, so me say, when you me never get free if you talk to to you, but me there listen. Me I tell you, puss man. Me love puss.
Madman,
I really love. Yeah, man. Me love him. So me that check out the cause somebody I sell to herbal medicine. So when they was say happy. Some man will take it, and when they take it, they stiff like board. So me I say, I wonder if none of them they could have helped us.
You what? Oh, because you know, same him have a permanent delay problem, you know, the thing now stand up again. So you think the herbal thing that could have helped him? What a herbal something then here?
Yeah, me did I check it out, man.
Is that Jamaica?
Because somebody
yes,
somebody
hold on. Enough of them up here and them not help us, you know. Enough of them up here, but they not help us, so me don't know. So what is that Jamaican one? Well,
yes.
Find out the
somebody
name.
I sell it.
Find out the name.
Me that check out.
Yo, find out the name and we'll see if we can send it up to Puss and thing, you know?
Yes, that I feel will agree, yeah, man.
Of course, he will agree. He want come out of the delay room, you know?
Me hear you. All right, later, me I go cook me dinner.
All right,
yeah, man. All right, yeah, man.
All right, people, listen now. Me don't want to no vex and thing. Me don't want to no vex and thing, but me not go take no more call, you know. Me I go over Twitch. I'm already over Twitch. So what me I go do, me I go stop the YouTube stream and then stop the Facebook stream and go play a little music over Twitch. All right? For those of you who don't know what's going on, it's over twitch.tv. TWITCH.tv. Yeah, we can't take call over there. But it's the only place we can play music. We can't play live music on YouTube or Facebook, because the copyright thing, them are go block me and then threaten to close their account and all them something. So I want everybody listening right now, go to twitch.tv if you're not over there yet. And just look for Ragashanti. Search for Ragashanti. Ragashanti. And follow me. And over there we listen music. You know, what if people over there already? Hundreds of people over there on my account. Oh, somebody want to put up the link in the yeah, why don't I do that? I'm gonna put up a link. I could put up a link, copy. Alright, I'm gonna put it over YouTube first. Right, yeah, so right, yeah, so bam. Okay, there's the link. See it there. Twitch, www.twitch.tv/Ragashanti. Cecilia, yeah, man, over there, man. Hundreds of people up on their account, man. Come in, all right? Play some music over there, you know. Again, and people, just to remind you, that is where we can play music and carry on. And sitting. So just come over Twitch and follow me if you have not done so yet. Because me I go cut off the YouTube and cut off the Facebook. And so okay, I'm putting in the link there, people. Right, so come in. I could go on with. People that know today's show was heavy, but you know, it was also educational, and you heard it from the caller also, who spoke extensively on the subject. She knows it's not the first we deal with these things over the years. You know, these things come up. You know, unfortunately, they have come up. They come up before, and thing, and we deal with it as best we can, and we share information that is intended, you know, to be useful to you, the listener and the viewer, not only for yourselves, but you know, for what you can share to others, for how you can arm yourself in protecting your children or your love or any other loved ones, and so forth. All right, that's the idea behind it, you know. All right. So I'm gonna just go no a minute, for get over to twitch.tv/Ragashanti. www.twitch.tv, not .com, tv.tv/Ragashanti. I put the link up in the YouTube here, and I put it also over the Facebook. So I'm just go over there yet. I'm just go in a minute or so to go over there. Boom, 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 because I'm going to close the Facebook and I'm going to close the the Ragashanti page from Facebook and the YouTube. All right. Let me see if people over. I hope you come over. All right, everybody, make sure you come over. I'm about to close off the YouTube and the Facebook. Okay. You see D.I. Candy over there. All right, sorry, I'll close our Facebook now. Okay, let me do it for me, so. All right. Just close our Facebook. All right, we can make sure it close off. Good. Facebook close off. Okay. Now I'm going to close off the YouTube. All right. Let me see. Oh, yeah. Okay. All right. So I'm going to close off the YouTube now.